Welcome everybody to the Thursday Night Forum. It's Arsenal Fan Circle, and pull up a chair. You're all welcome here. What do you want, Arteta flying that plane or not, Tony?
The first plane out of airport crashed. Me and Ray and Gary's flying the plane. So.
Why am I flying the plane?
Hey, Stan. All right. It's the yellow colors on the bottom and the other colors on top.
You got yellow on now.
Well, he's got like piss cycling
or yellow orange. Okay, then Gary, it's 3 against 1. Just like every other show.
Your yellow, right? Gary.
Sure. Yeah. What are you gonna pick? What subject matter are you gonna pick today that Stan's gonna beat me down with?
Listen, I was thinking about this today. I just want to pick the side that you're on, Gary, because you're always right about every topic. So.
Stan will tell you I'm not.
Don't bring me into it.
Don't bring me into it, he said. You're already here. You accepted the invitation, Stan. So
hello
welcome.
There, BX Gunner. I see Arsenal Misfit, Nerdscape. Welcome to
BX
the show.
Gunner, the Arsenal Misfit. Greetings to the panel and everyone in chat. And you're like the 12th man, all of you, or the 5th man right now in the chat. Nerdscape.
Well.
And Stephen Denham is here as well. All right, listen, we got lots to do, lots to talk about. Maybe not, but we can make something. We can make something out of a few things Arsenal related. Okay, so let's start off. I'll go clockwise. I'll give Stan some time to get settled into the seat. Okay. Tony some time to think about what controversial things he's going to say tonight.
What Tony said earlier.
What did Tony say
today in Gary's group?
We'll just find a nice even patch for Tony to plant his first flag of the evening.
Yes,
right, what are we going to talk about?
Okay, first thing, fill our glass, Gary. Please, Arsenal, let's fill our glass. We can look at the transfer market right now and think our glass is half empty, and we can equally think our glass is half full, right? Because we're halfway through the transfer window, and we've got half our business done. So how are you feeling? How's your beverage feeling right now, Gary? And this is the time to show your beer of the night if you have it.
Well, my beer is okay, but I think if you're going to try and correlate that, it's what is this? Founders All Day. I don't know if you guys heard of that one.
Was it an IPA, Gary? Or
all Day Vacay. It's a sweet secession sweet ale. So
you must be feeling
whatever that means. But if my beer is telling me how I feel about this
window,
it's skunky beer right now. If that's the case.
How's that window looking like over your right shoulder right now?
It's half. Let's see, the window's smashed in right now. But I kind of feel like we're going to use the glass analogy. For me, it's half empty. I mean, I think we've got many spots to fill. I believe. I don't believe there's any players that were loaned out that have a spot on the squad realistically, or if they did, they would have had a spot last season. So we still got some depth issues, and I would love, for us to maybe, create a better starting 11, meaning, that midfield spot. There's one midfield spot I think that we could improve on.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep hearing that there's nobody better than Xhaka, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. Depth for both for Partey and Kevin, and then Kieran Tierney. Not sure we have done that, right?
Yeah.
I would have liked to get 2 strikers, but it sounds like we're not going to do that. So I'm assuming that means Martinelli is going to get the spot. But like I said, I guess I'm going through everybody. But yeah, I'm feeling half full. Season starts in what, 3
half full,
weeks?
That means you're optimistic, right?
Half empty. Sorry.
He changed it. He first said half empty.
I did say I meant to say half empty the second time, but no, I kind of feel like it's 3 weeks now. When we said, I think like a week or two ago, we said, you know what, everybody's been saying, we still have a lot of time left in this window. Guess what? 3 weeks from now, season starts. So I don't think we have much time, not to get vetted, not to get past all the paperwork and all of that, and then actually have them practice with the squad and all of that. So I don't think we have enough time. We'll be in the same situation again. Players coming in as the season starts, and then we have to wait for them to get ready. So yeah, half empty.
Yep. Listen, I might tend to agree with you as well. Tony, where are you at this? And listen, Tony, as Gary said, we have one vacancy on this flight. It's maybe a left-sided midfielder, maybe another one, a left back, for the flight tonight. But what do you feel about this, Tony?
I'm going to go back to your homeland, make a good analogy that you agree with, probably. You go home to Ireland, you get a nice pint of Guinness.
Mm-hmm.
You go to some shitty bar in America and it's flat and doesn't taste good. So that's what you have. You have a half empty, shitty, flat Guinness. That's what you have. Because all we're doing is getting attacking midfielders when we need strikers. Probably a big smart idea to get a right back since Tomiyasu had multiple muscle injuries. Definitely need left back because Tavad's pretty much already destined to go on if he doesn't get sold. Still need a second striker, somebody that can challenge Jesus. Still need central midfielders and put Zach out there. But he's just being a squad player, not playing as many minutes.
$2 million man in this podcast. One will be Tony, and one is Steve Austin. Go ahead, Tony.
Sorry, I got distracted by Stan's show and tell there. But anyway, we haven't filled enough of our needs. And what's worse is nobody's been out the door except for a few loan players that we've loaned out that needed loans. Have to solve what you're going to do with Reese Nelson, Niles, Carrera, Bellerin, Leno, Mari, Cedric for entertainer for to keep him around. I mean, we got this whole host of players that Arteta doesn't believe in and isn't getting any minutes. And you have people like Charlie Patino that seems like they're to go out on loan since he didn't make it its way to America, which I thought was kind of strange.
Yeah.
But to me,
he might not be
definitely,
vaccinated. Might not be vaccinated. You've got to be vaccinated to enter the US, right?
I'm not sure. I'm sure they can work it out on sporting reasons to get them in.
Not if you're not vaccinated.
Stan,
Sir.
where are you?
Xhaka wasn't vaccinated. That was one of the things with him, wasn't it?
He might have got
one
vaccinated
time.
by now, though. You don't know, right?
Possibly,
Could have
yeah,
changed
who
his
knows?
status by now. Who knows?
Yeah.
For me,
Keep those things close to the chest. Stan?
for me, the glass is half full. We've brought in 5 players already. You know, it's not like the work has stopped. It's not like they've gone, okay, that's it. No one else is coming in. There's still stuff going on. And yeah, in a perfect world, we'd like to get everybody that we're going to bring in before we go away to the pre-season or before the season starts. But sometimes it just doesn't work like that. There'll probably maybe somebody that comes in right near the end and we get a better deal for them. I still think that maybe, you know, you never know as well. Some of our outgoings can still happen on the last day. A deal falls into place. So I'm fairly optimistic. And until the window shuts, you know, I continue to be optimistic.
Yeah, as BX Gunner said, we are cooking. Mobe Gunner is here. Welcome. It's good to see you, Mobe, in the house as well. We are cooking, BX Gunner says. And Gabriel Jesus, there was a behind-the-scenes friendly. Maybe it was like, Arsenal versus Arsenal. Arsenal A versus Arsenal B. But Gabriel Jesus did score in a 1-1 draw there as well, just before everybody flew out to the US. Thunder Road said Kante and Ruben Loftus-Cheek did not travel with Chelsea due to their vaccination status.
They're trying to sell Conte's probably why he didn't go.
Yeah, we don't want. You don't want that. I don't want any bar of Kante, please. No, don't do that, Arsenal. Right. So, Well,
At 31 years old, they said they did it 6 years ago instead of getting shitbag Zaka.
I'll stay with Stan and we'll go clockwise again. Stan, just some names on that flight that we're not going to move forward with. Clearly, some of them are going to be in the shop window. Runerson gets on the plane. Pablo Murray, there's quite a few names in
I
there.
forgot Renderson. That was the one I forgot. Why didn't you remind me?
That's the biggest name on the list.
Yeah. So, here we are again. It's another summer tour, and we're trying to. Hopefully, it's the last round of Shitbag 6, and we can give them a new name next summer. Less than Shitbag 6. Reasonably, not so much.
The spectacular 6, hopefully, we'll have by then.
Yeah. But we have a few on that flight that may not be playing with us come August.
I don't see that as a problem. I mean, are you supposed to say, right, okay, we've got 5 or 6 players here that we think we want to try and sell. There's nothing definite yet, but we're not taking you to America. You can just train on your own at London Colney, just do keepy ups and press ups and make sure you stick to the diet, and we'll see you when we get back. They're still paid by Arsenal. They're still employees of Arsenal, and they still need to train and kick the ball around. So I don't really read into who goes and who doesn't. To be honest, I mean, unless there's a pending transfer and someone's going to go in the next day or so, they probably don't get on the plane. But it's another way of maybe. I think sometimes as well, if we know that we're getting rid of players and we don't take them, it may make a sniffing team around them justify for trying to lowball us on the offer. They'd be like, well, look, you've got no intention of using these guys. You didn't even take them away. But if we're using them and they're front and center, it just keeps to help them in shape and maybe just keep their fee at a steady level, because we can still say, well, you don't know, we might have them in our plans. Who knows what we're going to do? We can string people along and try and get a few more quid out of them. So it doesn't bother me who goes and who doesn't.
And we have to do that. We have to start closing some deals. This summer has to be a summer where we can recoup some money. If it's 10 or 11 million for Bernd Leno, if it's 18 million for Pepe, we got to do it, right? Yeah. But one name we cannot mention for the rest of the podcast, Tony, is the X-Man. We can't mention him because Steve Denham has taken his leave, and he's leaving the chat, and he's getting.
See you later, Steve.
He's going to watch us from TV, but he doesn't want me to wind them up so much about Granit Xhaka that you have to get out and make comments. Arsenal Misfits.
That's because you did it at like the 11th hour. I don't think he'd mind too much if you did it now.
Tony, not only does Arteta not believe in those players, but nobody else believes in them either. So, Gary, this is a tough one for fans, and it's a tough one maybe for management as well. It's a tough one for Edu. You got players clearly maybe we don't need, we don't want. We're trying to move them on, but we've somehow found a seat for them on the plane, and we're not going to please everybody here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the players that we're bringing that supposedly, are worthy of being bought are basically trying to do everything they can to get Arsenal to take a hit. I mean, what I just saw just recently on Twitter, a statement that Leno is asking Arsenal to drop their transfer fee so he can go to Fulham. So that's one. Real Betis, you got Bellerin, same thing. Can Arsenal drop the fee so I can go there? Torreira, basically before he went to Germany, his agent talking about this and that. So I don't see why they need to be on the plane if they're so like in one. I hear you, Stan, but these players don't care because guess what? Guess what's going on behind this? There's reports out there they don't want to be there and they want Arsenal to let them go for free, and Arsenal shouldn't do that. So they're getting screwed both ways because now they're taking away potentially a spot from a player that they could use. Like we keep hearing that maybe Patino would get an opportunity to play in the preseason to see where they're at. Aziz, same thing. I've heard Norton Coffee as being a player that we could look at and maybe see what they got. We talk about this youth project. This is something that kind of just thought, heard it today and it kind of like, clicked with me. Talk about this youth project, but we got no academy players really that have been established that are getting an opportunity.
Yeah.
Walter came out of nowhere for me. I know, as getting an opportunity, he's on the plane.
Yep.
But like I said, like the Patinos, the Aziz, I don't know, their situation, but they're not
I
on the
told you,
plane.
vaccination status more than
I
likely.
get it. But then you got
if they
three.
can't go, they can't go because if they don't
Yeah,
want
but
to get vaccinated,
we don't know. We're just making assumptions, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we don't know, but I know they're not there, and I know there's 3 players that don't want to be there, don't want to be with Arsenal. So, I know that's a fact. They want Arsenal to take the hit for them.
Yeah. When you're talking about Bernd Leno going, please, Arsenal, it was a bit like when I was a kid, I'd go to my neighbor's mother and go, please, can Tommy come out and play with us? Bernd Leno was like, please, Arsenal, let me go. Just let me go.
we've done that to ourselves, though, right? It's become a fashion. They've seen they've seen players ripping up their contracts like Mustafi. They've seen it happen. Do you know what I mean? And they're thinking, oh, well, why can't if you've done it for him? Why can't you do it for me? That's what happens.
Yep.
It starts to spread throughout. You can't just keep shredding contracts. That's not business.
We've been doing it for 3 seasons, and I don't know.
Well, and that's why they needed to have done this a lot sooner, because, like you said, it's like a virus. Everybody's got the bug now, right? Everybody's got the bug. There is no reason for any player to sign a contract with Arsenal right now, because Arsenal has no power, on
you might as well write
anybody.
the contracts on toilet paper.
You know what I mean? Like, does anybody feel like Martinelli, Saka, Saliba are going to sign a contract with Arsenal? If you're their agent, you're telling them no. Let's see what they do.
What I would do is I'd sit Saka down, right, and his next contract, I would fucking hammer and chisel into a big fucking slab of stone and say, look, we can't rip this up when it's over. Can't rip up this, right? It's fucking concrete, so don't even ask. It's set in stone.
No, they have to keep their youth, because they keep saying they're a youth project, and if they let basically 3 of their best youth go into the last season with no contract signed, this youth project's done. Right? Come next summer, if Saka, Martinelli, and Saliba don't have contracts signed, what is this?
I just find it unbelievable that Leno's got the balls to go into the office. I mean, he got balls to do that, man.
Yeah.
But
the story goes, Stan, that due to his service over the few years he's been with us, 3 years.
Due to his service, what has he fucking just come back from the war?
Well, we're not talking about David Seaman. We're not talking about Ian Wright. We're not talking about.
It's been in 5 minutes.
You've been a good player, but you haven't pulled up trees. You had one good season where we said you were one of the best players alongside our striker for that season.
I reckon it was one of them where he walked up to the office, and like when you knock on a door, but you knock quietly. It's stupid, isn't it? You want someone's attention, fucking knock, but they do that. Mikel Arteta shuffling his papers around, probably nothing. Hello, but can I just wondered if I could come in and have a quick word? Yeah, come in, sit down. What is it? Well, you know when Mustafi and that left, yeah, and Ozil, yeah, and Aubameyang, yeah, and all the other names he lists out. Well, I was just wondering if no, get out, no, out. I mean, it's ridiculous that we've got into this. It's a bad business model. It's terrible.
As much as we want to do business, as we got 3 weeks to go, right? We said 21 days tomorrow. We're kicking the first ball in anger in the league. But in as much
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you think there was anyone, right, before the window closes, is there anyone, do you think, that we're going to let go for free again? Someone that we're going to go, yeah, go on, just fuck off.
We're going to, I think there's probably 2. I think there's at least 2. Because I don't think, right now, Arsenal's haggling. I think Arsenal might be haggling with Pepe over $7 million when they're already down like $50 million on the deal as it is.
Can't let him go for free. Could you imagine?
No, but it's like they want 25. The team wants to pay 18. Sell him. He's done. You're not going to get
20. Call it 20. Round figure. That's what I would do.
I'll take that. But that deal should be closed, right? Somebody actually wants to buy him.
Yeah.
right? They want to pay for his services. You let him go because you don't want him. It's
And I
just,
think they're
Get
trying
their
to
name on the
structure-
contract before they wake up and realize what they're doing.
They're trying to structure it.
No,
I think it's
fuck,
18,
fuck.
18 guaranteed, Gary, but then add-ons building up to 25. Close
Take
to
it.
25.
Take it.
Yeah.
I thought it was 25 was the value and 18 was what they were.
Okay.
Like once that discussion comes across your desk, don't you say, "Can I see the
Gary says
paperwork, please, so I can sign it?" Like
Gary says
yesterday.
Just
Yeah.
tell them 18 million, one payment, be done
Just-
with it.
No, they don't do it like that, Gary. They have like a big ceremony in the basement of the Emirates, and there's an altar, and then like a dude cuts himself, and then the drips of blood onto the contract,
So,
and then that's it.
Let me ask Tony. Tony, you comfortable when it comes to Bernd Leno if we are trying to hold out for closer to
I
11?
can't believe that. Shocking.
If we're trying to hold out for closer to 11 and say 9 million, are you comfortable with us waiting and letting it roll on for another 3 weeks?
I personally would have kept him. I'd rather just see out his contract, let him go for free than selling him for 8 million because I don't
That's
think
Perhaps the
that's
wrong
that's
person to
that's
ask that
really.
question.
I mean, what in the world are you talking about? You keep saying we have no money, and you're letting the player walk.
It's
How do we
25
not
million
have
we
money when
invested
we
in
keep
him,
buying
right?
Players.
I mean, we can't let players go. Like you can't. Like you take the money for a player. Think about this. Where Arsenal went wrong. Everybody knew Ramsdale was having a little bit of a struggle towards the end of the season, right? I mean,
Yeah.
might have needed a break, right? He might have needed a break mentally, right?
Yes.
And you have a starting goalkeeper on your bench, not a reserve, not a bench, not a whatever. You have a starting goalkeeper on your bench, and you don't use him.
Played well against Villa when needed.
So it's
Right.
like, that's one reason why nobody wants to spend any money because they're like, well, if you're not going to use them, then why am I going to spend what you asking, right? How many players does Arsenal go after where you're looking at them and like, well, you know what, they haven't played that much this season,
But they
right?
still have an intrinsic value, and I think Leno's a good keeper. But what Tony's trying to the model that Tony's trying to fucking promote here, it's like Tony deciding that I'm going to upgrade my television, need a new TV, and instead of putting the old one on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, he just puts it outside with the bins and lets some fucker take it for nothing. Brand good TV, working order, gone. Because you got new
Right.
ones, that doesn't matter.
By the
No,
time
I
he
just
closes the
I just
door
think
to
he's
walk
worth
inside the
8
house
million
and turns
I just
around and the
think he's
thing's
worth 8
gone.
million as
Yeah.
a backup.
Yeah, he sees me walking down the street
I
with
just
TV
trust
on my
him and
back.
Turner. I haven't seen enough from Turner to trust him.
Yeah,
yet.
I see. It said I saw Ryan is in the house. How you
Ryan.
doing,
Leno.
Ryan? Haven't heard
So
you
is
for a
this
while.
is this Tony like smoking the weed here? Leno for free. Tony.
I think it's more than weed he's on. Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
And you know what? I've said
you're
this
fully
since. I've said this
confident
for
in
how
Ramsdale
long?
still?
I've said this for how long? Arsenal keeps devaluing their players by the way they utilize them.
you have
Like Leno should have played, and everybody's going to say, "Oh, we only had one game a week." Well, did you see our players start to melt down?
So
Right?
hold on,
They started to
Gary.
wear
Gary,
down.
by your own argument, then, right? By
Mhm.
leaving the players at home and not taking them to the preseason, does that not continue to devalue them?
They're not even. You know what? They're not showing any art. I hear what you're saying, but then guess what they're doing? They're basically spitting in your face, even as they walk onto the plane, because, right? I
Especially
mean,
the ones that haven't been vaccinated. That's fucking dangerous.
but you know what I mean? Like they're showing some trust and not trust, some confidence in the player, and the player is letting them down, and it's like, and they continue to do that. That's what I. How does a report about Leno saying Arsenal take the hit for me? How does that even come out?
I believe that.
He just left on a plane to go
believe that
to
shit.
to play in a game that he's for a team he doesn't want to be with. One, like you've said that multiple times. The man doesn't want to be here, and we keep playing him. You know, like Lacazette was like, "I'm done with you," and we were captaining. He was playing, and you're like, and he's struggling, and it's
Yeah.
like, and Kennedy,
I mean-
does he get a chance? No.
I mean, at this point, we're literally holding Lucas Torreira hostage, aren't we? We're like,
Yeah.
no.
Does,
Like he's
does
doing interviews and
happen?
holding out like newspapers with the date on, and he's blinking like for help. Come and get me, mum, someone. And we're just like, no.
But
No, you're
doesn't this
staying.
happen? Doesn't this happen with most clubs? Chelsea. have
Not like
played-
this. not like
to the
this.
same
For how many
scale,
years has
right?
this happened?
Yeah.
We're not even talking about, okay, this is just a really bad summer. No, this has been summers now, probably on the third summer now, where we're like, we're gonna have to write off a lot of money, right?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you and in somewhere there's Stan and his son and Adu
I've got a
and
son.
Granai and the board all looking at this, going, "That's all
You
right.
have to
Rip
clarify
up,
which
burn
stand
the
you
money, burn the money. We don't care. Burn it."
We're not talking about what they're doing in that circle.
They're burning money, and it's stupid. It makes no sense. You're wasting your own money.
So
Make sure
Terrible business model. Terrible.
So BX Gunner, maybe we're at the end of the cycle of this, Stan. BX Gunner said, "I feel we're clearing out, but it does take time. Come January, they will all be gone, and Arteta will have his
Saka,
growing in the
Martinelli, Saliba contracts. If that doesn't happen, you'll be right back in the same boat again.
Saliba one looks good, doesn't it? The agent's been letting the cat out the bag a little bit. You know, it's like posting
Some-
pictures of the
Ask
contract.
Tony.
For him. He's either letting the cat out the bag or he's fucking trolling us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Showing
we're gonna
pictures of the
sign. We're gonna
contract
sign.
and
Just,
thinking,
just send
never
it
gonna
to
go
us
in
on
there.
deadline day. We'll sign it on deadline day just to make everybody happy. Start the season, and then guess what? The guy takes off on a jet with the
Ferrari's
contract in
doing
his
well
hand in
into
another
the
country, laughing.
He ain't gonna sign unless he's got a low buyout clause. Same with Saka.
So BX Gunner, you going to see any of the games? Or Ryan, because they're coming stateside, right? I just wondered if there's anybody out there that's going to go to any of these. Well, I don't even know where they're playing.
They're further away.
Where
They're
are
further.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Baltimore, and
Baltimore. Is that near you,
Orlando.
Tony?
That's way
Yeah,
away.
it's closer to. It's
Well,
closer
I suppose
to
everywhere
right.
is far for Tony at the minute.
Yeah,
so-
right.
Actually-
Tony's in the middle of nowhere.
And actually, I
Turn
was
it up.
driving back from my in-laws, and I was right behind a car with Oklahoma plates. I was like, Christ, Tony's tracking me down. Ryan said, why can't Ramsdale play those games? How much
See,
rest?
Ryan's going.
does the
Ryan's
keeper
going for
really
the
need?
Baltimore game, he says. He's
Oh,
going.
cool.
Where's Baltimore again? Whereabouts is that?
Washington,
About
D.C.
an
basically.
hour
Boston.
south
Right, yeah.
of
Right,
Philadelphia.
okay, yeah,
South
right,
Boston.
okay.
Did he
Oh,
say
okay.
Boston?
I said
Oh,
Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
I heard Boston.
Have a good
Yeah,
time,
it's in
man.
Washington. It's north of Washington, south of Philadelphia, and closer to Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
But Nerdscape said, I honestly don't care for any of these players, and the ones we're talking about, I guess, Pablo Mari, Hector Bellerin, Runerson, Pablo Mari, but I've mentioned him twice.
Yeah, you really hate him, didn't you? Fucking hell.
I used to. Tony will tell you. I used to have.
Pablo Marie
hope-
got Walters a free trip to Baltimore and Orlando. Think about it. If if Walters didn't even play, he wouldn't be going to on his trip. I mean, he's probably Ted is probably looking at Marie and Walters going, damn.
Curious
Real-
signing, isn't it,
well,
Pablo Marie?
Rule, I do follow your stuff on Twitter, so good chat, Rule.
Hey, Rule.
Listen, they are coming there to view for sale, but the situation is, and I'm a little bit with Gary on that one. And there's places that younger players who will have a future with the team those places could go to those players.
I don't think it's a case of I don't think it's a case of there's like, let's say for example, there's 25 seats, and there are like 3 or 4 players that have taken the seats, and these ones, they've been like, oh, we're just having to leave you at home because I think it's to do with as I mentioned, yes, the status and stuff like that, because it's very strict to get into the United States from anywhere if you're not, right?
I want to touch on this a little bit later in Nerdscape. He meant the whole squad, that he doesn't really care for these players. And Tony and I
think that's a little harsh. There are some players on here. I think everybody's more. I think most people they're upset with the way that the team's being managed and organized and everything like that. And you organize and manage this play. You organize this team a little bit better. You wouldn't be feeling this way about the players, I feel.
I'm quite happy with the organising of the team.
Well, here's the thing. I touched on this a little bit with Tony earlier. He'll know what I'm talking about, I think. I'll go to Gary first, and we'll talk about this. Shouldn't it be that you follow the club and not the players, Gary?
Definitely, definitely, definitely. That's why I'm okay to have some players sit that people want players think they have guaranteed spots, and I'm okay to see players leave that people are like, no, 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 we need them, and I'm like, no, no, for the betterment of the squad, for the team, for the club, certain things have to happen, and it's not going to be good for everybody, you know. That's so for me. No, it's ours. I would keep saying I'm Arsenal in when people say, "Are you Arteta in or out?" No, no, no. I'm Arsenal in. If Arteta is the problem and he needs to go, then I want him gone. Right?
That escalated quickly.
Well, no, I'm just saying if I'm Arsenal in and he's not good for Arsenal, then he's got to go. Right?
Yeah. And listen, in the
Is that
league,
not true? Is that not how this
yes,
works?
it is. It is true. I think.
Right?
I think all of us would say we cannot. We cannot have a bad season. We cannot regress.
Yeah.
Fifth place is a position that we should improve on.
I just don't understand why we're worrying about things that haven't happened yet. Like we're talking about the glass being half full or half empty, but the season's not started yet.
Because that's what
window.
right,
The
Well,
window.
what else
I'm
do we
just saying-
talk about then?
I know,
Stan?
but I mean, I don't understand the logic of it. How people are upset. We brought in
you're
5
illogical,
players,
Rick.
and the window hasn't shut yet. I don't understand how that means that the glass is half full. I don't understand what. What do you want? 8 players in this way? It doesn't happen like
Think
that.
about how you
5
watch a game.
players.
Wait, think about this. How do you watch a football match? Do you go, all right, the match just started, turn the TV off, I'll wait for 90 minutes and I'll come back and we'll talk about it? Or do you watch it and then as it goes through and you're halfway through the first half, something bad happens, you're upset with the TV, you're screaming at it like
You
me,
feel some way about
right?
it, right?
And by halftime, when you're down and go, crap, this sucks. And then in the second half, maybe your team recovers and now you're up again.
But I
And
would.
then they score again and they take the lead, right? And you're happy now.
I'd
That's
feel
how
that
you.
way.
That's how.
I'd feel that way if maybe only one player had come into this point or nothing had been done yet. Then I would be feeling as anxious as anyone. But I truly believe that the club has, they've learnt their lessons and they've already brought in 5 players, and I'm including William Saliba in that because he's never kicked a football for us, and I think that's quite a lot to have
Like a new
done.
signing.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's look,
one first.
it's a lot. It's a lot to get in. So until the window shuts, I don't see how you can, at this point with 5 come in, be critical of what's been done up to now. Because obviously we're still seeing signs that there are new names that are coming onto the radar all of the time. Zinchenko looks like there's another strong link back with Zinchenko again. That this Paqueta looks like there's something happening there now. So it looks to me that okay, we ain't going to get this Lisandro Martinez deal done, and they've not dawdled. It's not taking them 2.5 weeks to think of an alternative. They're already looking at other things. The Grimaldo deal, the Zinchenko deal, that looks like they're making a choice there. So I feel quite optimistic personally about what we're doing so far. Don't get me wrong, if the window slams shut and no one else comes in because we've dragged and couldn't get stuff over the line, then you'll be hearing a different report from me. I'll be very disappointed because it's obvious that there were 1 or 2 positions that really need to be addressed, But and again, it's not that I'm having a dig, but it does surprise me when I hear sometimes we get too forensic with our analysis, and it does feel that we want everything before we've even given it a chance to play out.
Here's the thing, though. Here's my motivation for sort of titling this. Okay, so I feel we all have an opinion, and we all can choose at this point, roughly halfway through the window, maybe more. Through the window, 21 days. I feel like we had maybe 21 days or more since the season ended. Are we feeling optimistic? Or are we feeling slightly not optimistic about it? So, is your glass half full or is your glass?
Nerdscope says the squad isn't good enough at the moment, and right now he's probably right. We can see that there are some.
Yeah.
We can see that there are some holes,
gaps
in this team.
Yep.
If we get to the end of the window and we haven't addressed that, then I will be shouting out what Nerdscape says, but I'll probably be shouting it a lot louder until my voice is fucking hoarse, But I try to, rather than be miserable leading up to it, I try to be optimistic. And the reason I'm saying this is that because I used to be a very pessimistic person. I was very much everything is fucking half empty until I fucking see it. But I try now to give the benefit of the doubt. And I try to think, well, these people are being paid a lot of money to do these jobs. This is a dude's, prime time of the year. He's got other things he does throughout the season, but this is where he earns his crust. And I've got to believe that, he is the right appointment and the money's being well spent. And I will believe that until I see otherwise. When I see otherwise and that window shuts, then I'll be like, what the fuck? So you was just fucking barbecuing for fucking 8 weeks, riding around in your fucking jet ski and smoking big fuck off Cuban cigars.
And
I thought that
bodies.
was just like on your downtime, you know what I mean? So I don't want to be, what's the word? There are some people that are, what do you call it? When they're overly positive, it's like a false positive. You can't even say something like, well, it's only a friendly, those goals don't mean anything. And they're like, you're negative, you're just bringing the team down. You can't, do you know what I mean? There are people that are just falsely, and I don't want to be one of those.
Yeah, I just like the comment there from Rural about, I mean, that's what I kind of feel as well. For it to be a good window, I feel like we need to get 3 more players in. I don't think we will, but I do believe we need to get 3 more in. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, three is going to be really hard the way that we do our business, but I think 3 more will get us where we want to go, and then top 4 and a trophy has to be the bare minimum. You know what I mean? Because we got a good thing going on. We need to build on what we just did, and have I as I said before, I want to lower the risk that we won't finish top 4. Meaning we need to have a lot more, good things about the squad depth, and even better players and all of that stuff. So, we're doing it, but we need to do more. And for me, if you don't do it now, when are you going to ever do it? Because I think this is when you need to, because we want to be in a certain situation a year or 2 from now, right? Because of the way Champions League is going to work. So,
Tony may be able to fill us in a little bit more on that one. Rule said, I'm confident at least 3 more deals will be done. And I think we all maybe are happy and we all agree on 3 more deals. And I've been doing some math we can talk about next on this one. I think all of the potential targets, those 3 deals that we're going to get done, should add up to about 120 million. And I'll explain a little bit further.
More than that, it's 90 million already, right?
Yeah, and we're going to spend another 120, I would say, in that region.
I agree with Raul. I think that we're looking at 3, minimum 2.
But
there's more coming in.
Is the name signing already in the house in Gabriel Jesus?
Yeah, that's the marquee.
That's not what the dude said. He said we're going to go after known established players. Only one that fits that bills, Jesus.
Theo Walcott's a known established player, but I'm just, for me,
we're not going after. We're not going after.
He's got coaching badges. He's got coaching badges. I understand. No,
isn't Tielemans an established player in his prime?
I would say.
Yeah.
Are we going for him?
You know what? That's not our primary target. If it was, we would have done it already. Because
isn't
it is. It has to be.
Zinchenko.
I don't know. We've gone everywhere else, but this is, Zinchenko was early, then that fell away, and then we've gone after many players, none called Tielemans, right? And still, even today, right now, does anybody feel like Tielemans is a target for Arsenal?
I still do. I think he's
no. I mean, like an active one now.
I think he's one that deal that's going to come in, maybe even when the season starts. I think they're playing some kind of a game with Leicester. It's happened with us before, right? With Leicester. Do you remember when we tried to get Vardy? They're not an easy club to deal with, and I think that they're trying to play it a bit smart, and they're putting out lots of stories. Oh, we're looking at this guy now. We're looking at that guy now. So don't get your knickers in the twist, Leicester. You might not be getting our cash. I got a feeling though that we're going to get Tielemans, maybe Zinchenko, someone that can play in the defence, and then hopefully the third player will be another wide forward. I'm with Gary though. We need another striker. We all know that. Maybe that comes in January, and we try and limp through to January before we go again.
Yeah. So I've got some math here for everyone to follow. Previously, let's say in the last 2 weeks, we were targeting that fella Martinez, Lissandro Martinez. I would have said we were willing to spend about 40 million on him. Rafinha, which Mr. Tom knows all about, Now he's a Barcelona player. Thank you for going to Barca.
Yeah.
And
Have you
not
checked
going
the
to
cash
Chelsea.
yet? Is it like legit money? You know what I mean? You check the watermarks.
The Monopoly. Monopoly.
Yeah.
They put it in some
Those are those
water.
pink 500s from Monopolies. Big bundle of the pink 500s. There you go, mate.
I would have said Arsenal would have went 50 million English pounds.
You know, it was in
Rafinha.
a
That's a lot of money.
package. The money was in a package, and as soon as they opened it, it just disappeared.
Do you really think though that we were going to spend 50 million
I
pounds,
think Arsenal are willing to go
British
as far as
pounds
50.
on
Yeah.
a backup left back? Because we were talking to him primarily for the left back position, as I understand it. United for centre back.
For
See,
Martinez, 40. Lissandro Martinez, 40. Rafinha,
backup fullback. Do you reckon that
Rafinha,
Arsenal gonna do
50.
that?
We spent what 30 on Fabio, just as
Yeah,
much
but-
as we spent on Erdegaard, right?
Yeah, I
They're
don't
both.
know.
We spent the same amount of money for
Tierney
a
was
starting and
25, right?
backup.
20. Tierney's
And now we're
25
looking
starting.
at spending the
Starter. We're going to spend
55 to 60
50,
million on another
double the
game.
amount on a backup. I don't know. That's
So-
why the Grimaldo deal looks better to me because it's 8 million, right? 50 million on a backup left back. I don't.
How much have
That
we
to me-
spent so far, Tony?
90.
We spent 90, and I think we'll go another 120 here. Now we're going to recoup some of this money. Okay, we have
Now,
to.
if we don't sell our players, we just have this. I don't know. We have this scare right now.
You know those bank bags for the change. Here you go, mate. Like the
We
change
have
coins
to
and that.
recoup some of
Ray
this.
forgot
So
to do the
It's like,
quotes
and on the top of it, it's all
money.
on the top of it's all the big coins, but underneath it's all the singles. This is all the little pennies and pence.
The coppers. Yeah.
Well, look,
Right, let's put the big notes on the top. The 20s, we put the 50s on the couple of 50s on the top, and the rest are fives. So
so what I
we're never getting another one of them Moby deals, right? That
No.
should be celebrated and framed, you know.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what blew it for us. We slid that one through, and all the other teams were like, "You cheeky fuckers, we're keeping an eye on you. Know why you're getting you owe us on that deal."
So Stan, 2 weeks ago we would have spent
Sir.
40 million Martinez, 50 million on Rafinha. These are my numbers, and 30 million on Tielemans. I think that's 120 total. So
So
give or take,
55 million on Paqueta.
I'm getting there. And now we're looking at maybe a Zinchenko for 30 million, a Paqueta for 60. I think we could go as high as 60 for Paqueta, and Tielemans again for 30. So that
And
still
tell
comes
me
to
why
about
we need to
120.
spend 60 million on another cam. Please
Well,
enlighten me, Ray.
reportedly. Gary, what do you
Reportedly
think
what?
about those numbers? 60 plus 230s.
Seems like a lot of money. And as Tony said, what was Fabio for? We're not in the business of projects and developing players for that amount of money.
What if Fabio was
Yeah.
your depth? Would you be happy with that?
We
Yeah.
don't have a replacement for number 34. So no, we don't have for me right now, we don't know if Eddie's going to be a good number two striker. We don't know that. We hope it, but it'd be nice just to say, you know what? No. And if we're looking at Rafinha, then go and get somebody close to that quality, right?
Yeah.
You know, maybe a little bit younger, maybe not as many, not as a bigger threat, but you can't be looking at some of these players and then all of a sudden turn around. I get turn around.
Where's
and
our
looking at
moderator at?
left-
Me.
Who's the moderator?
I had to do that work, Tony.
Oh, somebody
Get
crazy
rid of
got in
negative
there.
HD. There you
Oh,
go.
yeah. No, I just,
I'm always first there.
I mean, the players that we've gone after and did not get, looks like, same thing we did last, in January. I just kind of feel like that. Paqueta brings goals. I see that, but
Yes, BX. I think BX is on my line of thinking. Grab a number of players who can grab a lot of goals for
Let's
you.
yeah,
throw
but
out
when
fucking
we
five
were
number
going
10s
after,
out in the
but when we're
squad.
going after Rafinha, everybody's like, oh no, he's not going to bring, why would you go after him, But now we're going to get somebody further away from the goal and then claim that goals is why we're bringing him in.
Who's further away?
Paqueta.
He's a cam. He's
Yeah,
not
he'll be further away than a Rafinha.
Who'd
From
be
the
on the
goal.
edge of the box?
I just said he'll be further away. I didn't say he isn't going to be close.
You're talking about centimeters, Gary.
Talking about feet, man. I'm talking about feet. No.
Welcome to the show, Morty.
Who's
Rafinha is the one you want to score the goals, right? Not Paqueta, right? Your Cam, you don't really want to. If you have a Rafinha or Paqueta, which one do you want if you're talking about goals? Okay. The fact that you're quiet means you don't want to say it. That's all right. Rafinha is
But
who
you
you
have
want. I asked the question. I
how
answered
many
my own question.
how many
Rafinha is the
goals
one
did
you want if
Smith
you
Rowe
want goals.
score? How many goals did Odegaard score? Is that a weakness in the
6.
team?
What?
He had 6
ESR did
goals.
not score those goals as a 10, did he? He scored them out in the wing.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't come
Talk
in.
about
He
Erdegaard.
didn't see. Yeah. Emil Smith Rowe, though. He didn't score those goals playing as a 10. Not most of his goals. Nah. I
See,
don't believe so.
rule there. Vieira is a baller, and I feel he's going to bring stiff competition to Erdegaard. And maybe potentially Vieira is going to be, in the end, the backup or support to Saka, but kind of
Nope.
on that right wing.
I think we're gonna be
Vieira.
playing with 2 8s that are basically 10s.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Listen, get a CDM right. We have enough attack-minded midfielders. I think here's the issue.
You don't see games where perhaps maybe Lord Voldemort is playing the deepest, right, as the 6. He can't be named, and in the front and ahead of him on the right hand side, Odegaard, and on the left side instead of Xhaka. Could that not be Vieira or Paqueta, or even
That's what I'm
Tielemans,
saying.
or any
That
of
has
these
to be the
names that
plan.
we've heard? Can't any of them? I mean, a couple of them left-footed as well. So it'd be ideal, isn't it? I'm sure Paqueta or Vieira, one of them's left-footed, or maybe even both of them. So he's looking in the house. Why not?
Why not?
Up? Welcome. So
There you
can't one of them slip in there? Do you know what I mean? Does it have to be Odegaard or Vieira? Why can't he? I think one of them's left-footed as well.
And
So,
can I just say one thing?
I can see us getting all these players, and then we're all sitting there, with our hands with our hands in our face, going, "Look at this starting midfield." Because it's going to be a player that,
Partey and Odegaard.
and you're like, why did you spend like $100 million on your midfield, and
Can
you're
I
not
just
even going
say-
to use them?
Can I just say one thing? Arsenal fan circle here. We all think differently, and everybody in chat thinks differently. But we all want the same thing, and I love that you're all so.
there you go. Rule says they're both left-footed.
Respectful to each other. You all have your point of views, and you all respect it. You might disagree at times, but you still.
But beware, why not's turned up, so that has put the cat amongst the pigeons.
Oh no, he does always.
The cat amongst the pigeons. All right. No, you know what? I saw Big Gunner's comment there about Paqueta. He's been doing it longer than Rafinha. So, all right, I'll take it.
Come on,
Raul
he's
says here
a
that
really,
they're both
really good
left-footed.
player, Gary, and he will.
No,
chip
I'm
in
not
a
saying we
goal.
shouldn't get him. I just said we were going after Rafinha was target number. Was the target number 1 ahead of Paqueta if we were talking about goals.
Yeah.
So.
You know what? Same thing. Listen, here's the big problem with Arsenal. We've got a really, really good player in Thomas Partey as that holding midfielder. Yes,
Thanks,
about
mate. You've just demonetized the stream. Cheers, mate.
As a footballer, I can talk about him.
The man the man went on the plane. He's at practice. We can't speak. Yeah,
he's there exactly. Yeah. But what's the drop off, Gary? After
the drop off is big.
Yeah, it's a big drop off. The
drop off right now is big from behind Tierney. The drop off is big behind Partey. Not so big behind Tomiyasu. If we're talking about where the cover that we might need for some of our players that basically hurt the season when they were out. But yeah, we don't. We're fixing everything around them, but they still are they're still the lynch. They're still the cog, right? That once they break, then you start slipping, right? So we haven't answered that call either, right?
Nerdscape has found a player that he likes. I think he likes Tierney though, right? So and that's fine. You like a player. We want Tierney to get past 56% of games this season.
Yeah, that's the
hit towards 70-75%.
You gotta hit. It's gotta get. One, he has to get to what I think it's 20-25 games, and then we might,
then we can talk.
Yeah.
Get to 25 games, then we can talk. Right?
I honestly start subbing him after 60 minutes. Don't forget we got 5 subs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but who's coming in for him? Who's coming in for Partey? Okay, no, but we're not. Who are we buying for Tierney's cover?
It'll be Torreira, won't it? Because we're holding him hostage.
Terry's a
We'll
left
make
back. I
him
thought
play.
he was a defensive mid. I thought that's what
A
he
little
was.
$7 million player we're looking for. That
Or
probably won't be good enough.
Grimaldo, right?
Yeah.
Grimaldo is supposed to be. I thought the
Left back.
cover.
There, look,
Yeah.
this is a player I've seen live about 5 years ago, Aronson for Leeds. I think he's one to watch this season as well. Good player. Good player. I'd like him at Arsenal, to be fair. Lissandro, well, it was going to be Martinez. We all knew pretty soon he was pretty early on he was going to go to Manchester United.
I think we were just pushing the price up to bleed Man United
what
of some
I'm talking about.
shekels.
That's what I'm talking about.
You
I
make
hope
it sound
so.
like we're like smart in the transfer window.
I want to pretend that we are. You know what I mean? I want to pretend like, Mikel Arteta is like Dr. Evil. He's like,
Steven's right here.
I want to
He
know
who-
what's in Stan's beer tonight.
He
That's
who
what I wanna
cannot
know.
be named needs to be gone for this club to progress.
Oh,
Can't
nice.
be a CDM because he is slow.
I know what beer
Yeah,
you're drinking. I want to know what's inside the beer.
Is-
besides
you know
Can't
what?
be an 8 because he's not offensive minded enough. Isolates.
Giving him any defensive responsibilities is like telling a goalkeeper you can't use your hands. You just no. You just one he can't do it, and when he tries, it fails. So no, I don't know if that was a good comparison, but no. Any defensive responsibilities for Xhaka, I think, are just wasted.
oh,
So,
okay. He's he who shall not be named. I was meaning it for our number 5
No.
as
Our
he who
number
cannot be named
30, still
for legal
34, I think.
reasons. That's all I meant. For legal
Number
reasons. right?
34. And this a player remains to be seen if we're going to upgrade on him. I hope we do this summer. But, he's still probably one of the first choice players on the team.
so how did you say that? That doesn't. That's what's so bad about it. He's like the number one player written on the sheet,
still-
and we're nobody who works for Arsenal thinks that he should be anywhere close to being a consideration to be on the squad at all, right? So it's crazy, just crazy.
Okay,
Just
so
crazy.
I am hopeful. Zinchenko, that's a name that's come pop back up. I hope that's one that we go for. Paqueta is going to be difficult from Leon. I think he is. And I think
Lot of money,
it's gonna be
innit?
expensive.
I think
It's just money. It's not anything else,
lot.
right?
Tielemans
Mr.
is
Tom
there.
and his Leeds need to buy Pepe since they're one of the
And
clubs linked to Pepe.
Tielemans is there. I understand Arsenal have been checking in on them, making sure he has enough food and drink. And
Who?
water.
Who's that?
Understand?
He's got a 5-gallon bucket to shit and piss in.
Who?
They're giving
Checking
him
in
a little bit of
on
food.
Hey, Torreira?
Tielemans. Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
just like
So
open a hatch in the door and slide a tray through with his food. Shut the hatch.
this is going to lead me on to the next topic, and I don't agree with Arsenal fans finding a player's home with Tielemans' home. We're not going to talk about it too much.
What
But
happened?
apparently,
You hear
Arsenal
about this?
fans are detectives out there, and they found Tielemans' home, and it's been put up for sale, and all that good stuff. So,
Oh,
I don't know how
that's
to do
handy.
that. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I don't agree with that aspect of Arsenal fandom, but the other aspect is
You're everyone looking for it, Ray. You're one that has with Tillman's hard on. You probably want to track him down.
Yeah. Tony, if the Arsenal team fly into a public airport, isn't it okay for fans to go there and greet the team?
Yeah,
It's-
I think so.
It just kind of depends of the way they do it. They're disciplined and not all screaming and jumping around. I know here for the Thunder, they're usually 300-400 people at the airport when they fly back in from after pretty much every game. So I
I
don't see
saw some.
anything wrong with it. But
I saw some criticism for those fans who were there at the airport to greet
Really?
the team. Yeah, maybe get some footage of a certain player entering the country and
Oh, I
put it
see.
online. But don't you think if Arsenal wanted to have a private entry into the country, they could have organized that?
I'm sure they could have. There's ways to,
Ways and
you
means.
see bands and that do it, unless you're the Beatles, and they're like everyone like
They just
screaming
don't
at
go.
the airport.
They don't go through. They just jump on a bus. They don't
Yeah.
even walk through the terminal. I mean, if they really wanted to, they could.
Maybe Arsenal wanted everyone to see that certain players were front and center.
I mean, they got in at
Who knows?
midnight, so it wasn't like it was like the middle of the day. People, they got in pretty late, so it wasn't. I think that they're probably expecting less people to be there, but they forget that Arsenal people, fans are just crazy. Right? Like the one fan group you need to like go, you know what? Oh, they won't be there. No, we'll be there. So
Ray was back there holding up his Pablo Mari sign.
Damn, I missed him. It was too late. I valued my sleep more.
They probably like sat on the aeroplane, like in their first class with them big seats, and like the waitress comes by to give them like their complimentary peanuts, and it's really Robbie trying to get an exclusive, but dressed up like a stewardess.
they're showing the stats here for Zinchenko, Tierney, and Tavage, and Tierney is, according to the stats, anyways, but he's played the most minutes, the worst of the three. In many statistics. Yeah.
Why not say Arsenal fans are all the same? Stalkers. One Arsenal fan from our fan TV got arrested for the exact same behavior. There's way. I mean, obviously, if you don't behave in society, you're going to get arrested. But to go there and greet the players, I don't think is such a bad thing. I think it's fine. People like seeing stars. It's why 8 people watch on the stoop. And 11 people watch Arsenal Fan Circle on a Thursday night. But we love you. We love you all for doing that. So listen, I thought...
Just subscribe. We need more subscribers. We need 500.
Let's get us to 500. Phil Ardlass, please. Yeah. In terms of the tour rule said, remember two owners going to want... in terms of the tour, remember two owners going to want all the players on show for the fans. This is a product for the Cronkies. It's going to boost the merchandise as well, Stan,
Of course it does, yeah.
His name rhymes with ET.
Get everybody buying those new black away kits that will go on sale sometime this weekend.
All right. So that was a little piece about the fans. I think Arsenal fans are like every other fans. I don't think we're more extraordinary or worse than any other.
I think it is when it comes to social media. I think we're worse.
Possibly. Man United Liverpool played out in the Far East as well. Man United beat Liverpool 4-0. We're not going to read anything into that for the season.
Can't.
There's
nothing.
Yeah. So Tony, Saliba, is he going to get his second debut in preseason? Do you think Saliba will play on Saturday?
Didn't he play in a preseason game for us once before?
MK
right?
Dons.
He did, didn't he? Right.
Yes, a few years ago.
That's the only game he's played, kind of, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does our number 12 play? Yes, I'll play some minutes.
Is that his number? I thought he was number 2.
It's number 12. His number got hijacked.
Oh.
Hector
took his number back.
Well, he is number 2, right?
Yeah.
But I always thought that when the season ends, you can change numbers if you want. You can swap them around or whatever. But once you register the team with their numbers, then you can't do it until the season ends. So, I mean, what does that mean? Do you know what I mean? Because if you look at Lucas Torreira, he's lost number 11 to Martinelli, and Lucas Torreira didn't get the option to buy. There was no guarantee that the deal was going to go through. So you got Hector Bellerin, who's another want away, and Saliba was originally going to get the number 2, but Hector's come back and has kept the number. So do we read anything into that or not? I mean, we're Arsenal fans, I suppose we do, right? We all put on our fucking Sherlock Holmes hats and go, right, what does it mean?
Hey, we were even trying to figure out where you were when you were on location last week.
He's off Highway 1.
I was off Highway 1, close to the United States border. That's all I can say.
Why not Ray? LOL, the Pratt in the hat. I'm talking about the weirdos hunting down Tillman's house. Stalkers. Yeah, that's not cool when it comes to that stuff. Can I just say that I respect Eddie and Keddy? What about Ben White? What about Benjamin?
I'm trying to get him to take Pepe. They're interested in Pepe. They got the money. They just got 60 million.
Listen, there's been some
they better
rumors
spend that money quick before the check bounces. So go buy Pepe, please.
Before they find out the paper money from Barcelona is not so great looking, Tony, what about Saliba then? Start us off.
What about him? Well, he'll play this weekend. Yeah.
I
still think one.
You are full of vim and vigor trying to convince me about Saliba today, and now you're quiet.
The other
One
week
of
you
the
said you
two
were
is
shit,
getting
Tony,
sold.
if you
Either
remember rightly. You said
Gabriel-
you were shit 2 weeks ago. Do you remember that?
Gabriel
And I was saying
Saliba.
to you, he's got the Young French Player of the Year. He's in the Liga squad. He's got into the international. Why don't you like him, Tony? And you were still saying that you thought he was shit, if I remember
Guendouzi
rightly.
did the same freaking thing, but nobody mentions that. But
Yeah, but Saliba's the Mbappe of defenders. We all know that.
is he?
That's his new name.
Is he even in the top 5 of the best young French center backs?
He's going to rip it up. Big Bill Saliba. I'm part of the cult. The cult of Saliba.
You just like his winking video. That's all you like.
Why are you bringing that up? I mean, what?
Tony, there is a time and a place to talk about masturbation, and it's usually, backstage.
Gary,
You know
bring some football talk back to the podcast.
What the world did they
I was
just went-
trying to.
No,
I
you did
still
not.
think one
No,
of-
you weren't. You
one-
weren't trying
one of
to.
Gabriel or Saliba is probably to be out the door. There's too many links to both of them. Us not be listening to offers.
There were links to ESR. Where did that go?
That's Tony. That was bad. Tony.
Where did the ESR links go?
Yeah, ESR links to Villa last year. Where did that go?
I heard that 17 mil isn't owed. It's just what he gets paid if he stays. They want him to stay and reduce that salary. That's what they want. It's my understanding. He wants to stay, but they want him to reduce his salary. I think, if I recall, it's not that he has 17 mil in credit. That they're just going to pay him back. I believe it's that's what he's supposed to get paid, but they don't want to pay him. They want to reduce his salary, like in Dembele, right? They wanted to reduce his salary, and then they made some deal. The Rafinha deal supposedly got that over the edge because he realized they didn't want. That's what the talk, at least, that I heard. So Barcelona is basically, when we talk about ruthless, that's what they're doing, right? They go out and spend all this money on Rafinha, and then tell their own players take a pay cut.
They're basically a
how do you
hedge fund, aren't they? They're like a hedge fund.
How do you do that? Look, I don't have any money for you. Meanwhile, they're giving money to this. Just go through the back door.
I mean,
Yeah, listen, 17 million is owed. So if he stayed at Barcelona, because originally
the
he said
duration of his
that he
contract.
wanted to stay, but if they agreed to that and said, okay, you can stay, then they would ask him to take a pay cut. But if he leaves now, I think they owe him the 17 million, right? It's owed in the.
See, I didn't. I mean, that's not what I heard, so I don't know the whole story. But it just seems, some people were saying it's money that he's going to get paid if he stays. And he really he wants to stay, but he doesn't want to take a pay cut. But I don't know.
If the player wants to stay, isn't he?
I see deferred wage. I see the deferred wages. Which, if it's deferred wages, then they just don't want to pay him his full salary. That's all, right?
Yeah, they're deferring it because they want him to take some kind of a pay cut, and then they're probably asking to backdate the pay cut, right? Maybe backdate it, so it gets rid of what's deferred. Cheeky.
Rule said many of the players have not received their full salary.
Yeah, but yet they just spend like how much have they spent in the marketplace? Like,
crazy.
Right?
How do you justify that?
72 million on Rafinha alone, right?
And they're supposedly want Lewandowski, right? Is on their list. Like, they're going real cheap, right? Just going to get the cheapest players available out there in the market. Right?
It's like Mr. Tom says, though. It's like you lend your mate some money and he's dodging you, and you bump into him and he's got like a fucking brand new Stone Island coat on that cost him a monkey. And you're like,
it's
my money.
Barcelona will not be a club in a couple of years, 2-3 years. People are saying.
I keep hearing that, but I don't know. I think they're just not going to go.
It's crazy.
It's weird madness how they're operating and how they're doing it. It's a hedge fund, right? It's a hedge fund.
I mean, it's worse than what Tony just said a few minutes ago. It's more crazy than that.
Why do you even have to even bring it up? See, we're trying to
because Ray likes to the touch paper.
Sorry. Gary, lots of things going on with Arsenal, but Saliba's story is kind of unique, and like the glass is half full, glass half empty. You could look at that with Saliba as well. You can wonder why he isn't playing for Arsenal right now, but you can also say there was lots of extenuating circumstances around.
So-
Can I
But
just ask you
Ray.
guys a question about William Saliba, right? You know, if we look at what's happened to him, he's been with Arsenal for 3 years, and we all know that he's been on loan for all of that time, and now he's coming back. Is there anyone that thinks that, yeah, the way that we did that, you know, him going on loan for 3 years was the right thing to do to elevate him to where he's got to? Because being one of the young French players of the year, getting into the Ligue 1 side of the year at such a young age, getting, you know, called up to the international side, I think is quite an achievement. Or do some of you guys think we did that wrong? He should have come back early, you know, maybe not have played as many minutes and wouldn't have been able to. I just wondered what you guys think. I
Well,
think personally, I think
definitely want to
we did
send
it.
him to France.
I was
frustrated.
I was frustrated, right, by not seeing this guy and hearing all these reports from afar. I think you hear it, William Saliba had a brilliant game again, and you're like, well, that's no good if he's not doing it for us. But all being said and done now, I'm happy that we've developed him. What do you reckon?
I think we wasted the first 2 years of his Arsenal career. The last year we got what we wanted out of the loan situation, but we screwed up the first 2 years. I mean, if he wasn't going to be a starter for us, he should have been out on loans like sooner than. Remember, I think we decided we wasted, and we were trying to get a deal done on the last day of the window, and it's like, whoa, wait a second, we knew we weren't going to play him. Why didn't we try to get him out sooner? He's a talent that people want. Get him. If you're not going to play,
6-month window, we didn't register him, and he fucked him. Yeah,
and we didn't even. Yeah, so he couldn't even play in the Europa League or anything like that. And it's like you just wasted a year of his time. And in the second year, I don't know how that went, but I think we slowed down his growth a bit. Like, I think about a year and a half essentially. I mean, he's shown what he's got, but now he's sour, right? He's sour to Arsenal to some degree, I believe.
Oh,
I believe so.
Really?
Because I don't believe he has to sign this contract. I know it sounds like he will, but I kind of feel like
I mean, if
I
it's
I would not be
England,
surprised. I would
I
not
don't
be
know.
surprised if he doesn't.
What makes you feel he's sour
Yeah.
about Arsenal?
The French Cup, that would be the starters.
I kind of feel like he's,
sorry.
despite all the things that have happened to him,
That's
he's
a good
still
point,
out there.
Tony. Good
He's still
point.
out there, as they say, balling. Right? It doesn't mean he's happy about the situation. And now he's seeing how this team is run. Like we're right now fearful that he doesn't even need to sign a contract, right? Because he'll be in control of his career going forward after that.
I was under the impression that, do you remember there was all of that? Thomas Saliba's going to do an announcement in a couple of days to tell everybody. I'm not thinking that's a bit much. He's only young. It's not like he's like fucking Pele.
Yeah, and then he came out and said all the things you expect.
Yeah, he said, I'm going. Yeah, so I was under the impression that he finds that there's unleft work to do. He signed for Arsenal, and now he wants to come back and is in a position to maybe force his way into the team. That's how I felt.
Yeah. As Rule said, he thinks he already has signed. I hope so. I guess I'm that's why I'm saying I'm half empty here, because I'm like, if I'm your agent, I don't know if I make that decision.
You want to answer
Dan
my
is
question
wondering
from
why I
earlier,
titled
Ray?
the podcast "Fill or Glass." Glass is half empty, glass is half full.
You want to answer my questions I asked you earlier?
No, you're gonna answer our question first, right? Or go ahead. Yeah, is this part of Saliba chat? Go.
This is part of Saliba.
Yeah.
You're at one of the most historic clubs in France. Champions League coming up. Guaranteed starting spot. World Cup coming up. Why would you go to Arsenal without guaranteed minutes?
How do you know his minutes haven't been guaranteed? Would be my first question. Who told you this?
His agent, by what they keep saying.
Where is he?
Who's
Tony? Is that Tony? Yeah, this is Saliba's agent.
Whose spot is he taking?
Many minutes. Bye.
Whose spot is he taking?
Ben White's. Right?
It's a big $50 million.
He could
So why do we
pound,
spend
play on the
50
left in the
million
two
on
as
Ben
well.
White?
So he could slot in anywhere in the central defence. I mean,
See, this is the thing that Tony
why
and
does
I.
it all have to be on a plate for the player? Why can't he come back and be like, okay, at the moment I've got Ben White ahead of me and Gabriel Megalegs ahead of me. If I could believe in myself, I've done so well in France,
yourself.
right? I'm going to back myself. I'm going to train hard, and when I get the minutes in the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or the Europa League, I want to make sure that Mikel Arteta has a headache now of who he's going to select moving forward. That's
That-
the attitude I want.
And that's what I told you,
But
Tony.
that narrative
Yeah, but is
doesn't
that
sell.
gonna be enough
That
for
narrative
the
doesn't sell
French-
newspapers, though, Stan.
French national coach to say,
Our producer,
he's
click.
riding the bench at Arsenal, but I'm not
Right?
putting him in.
We need you to.
Oh yeah, of course. You know,
like
they're
button.
going to hear like William Saliba disgruntled or William, seen like looking at Mikel Arteta in training for the side of his eye. You're going to get all of that. Nobody wants to hear the positive, but why can't football players have that kind of motivation? I don't believe that all football players are like, oh, I'm not going there because you're not in the Champions League.
I think a lot of them would.
Because Gabriel Jesus has just walked away from a Champions League club to come to Arsenal. Could have gone to Real Madrid. They sniffed around him. Could have gone to Tottenham. They also were sniffing around him. But he's come to Arsenal. So I'm kind of hoping that the players that Mikel Arteta is looking at, it's not only about what they can do on the pitch, but it's also about where they are mentally. And I think that Saliba is sold on it. I think Saliba is sold.
Out of all those clubs, right?
Say again, Tone?
I said Jesus is give the most minutes at Arsenal of any of the clubs you mentioned.
Tony,
He's play more minutes. He's a big guaranteed starter.
But again, there is no guaranteed, right?
World.
If you go into a team, you might be able to keep somebody out. That's what it's all about. Bringing in Paqueta and Vieira and having Odegaard. Now we're going to get the most out of all of those three players because maybe only two of them can ever play in one match, which means that they have always got to be on their toes, performing. I love this competition for players.
But I want that competition at the 34 spot. That's where I want that competition. I want that competition. I want that competition. I want that competition with Partey. I want that competition with Tierney. I think for me, I like Tomiyasu. Tierney, it's all about availability. Tomiyasu, I'll give him another season. We'll see about the availability part. But Tierney has already proven now for the last 5 seasons of his career, he hasn't lasted, right? So the writing's there. The stats say, we don't look at stats, but the stats say we'll be lucky to get the same, better. So for me, I like the competition elsewhere. I've always said I want Saka, Martinelli, and Erdegaard to be on the bench. That's how good I want our window to be, right? Paqueta sounds like he could push Erdegaard to the bench, right? Saka right now doesn't have any competition, maybe, right?
Listen, Gary.
Right now, yeah,
that's a good point, Gary.
We want Arsenal to be getting to that point where I'm going to say it again. Manchester City were a few years ago, and. Listen, hear me out.
Why are you always chasing Liverpool and City?
The true example, because I think I know where you're going, but the true example is Bayern Munich. Because when Muller was 22, sitting on the bench, looking up at Ribéry and Robin, look where Muller is now. That's what we need. That's the kind of squad you want to have, where you've got like a Saka and a Martinelli and an Erdegaard looking up at some world-class players.
Not necessarily looking
up.
Not
being those world-class players in a couple years,
Not necessarily looking up, but if you have 4 games in a month, I want some of those players playing 3 games in a month, so they play 28 games a season in the league.
Remember Arsene Wenger used to say he used to have that phrase about when they used to monitor players' fitness, they would look for when the players got into the red. And the problem is at Arsenal at the moment, players like Saka, Martinelli, and a couple of others, if they ever go into the red, we haven't been able to take them out and put somebody in who's going to, and there's not a huge drop-off. We've had to rather keep playing those players in the red and pray to the football gods that they don't get banjexed in the game and they're out for 3 months. And in a couple of cases, I think that may have what happened. But now with some of these names and people that are coming in, a Paqueta, a Vieira, it means that Odegaard doesn't have to play in the red. It means that ESR doesn't have to play in the red. Saka. But Saka is the one, isn't it? Saka, they still doesn't. Is it Nelson that's going to come in when he's in the red? I don't think so. So that needs to be addressed. Somebody to play on the wings. Ideally, someone that's comfortable in either wing, who can fight for a place, but also be comfortable slipping in if Martinelli's in the red or Saka's in the red.
And we want to be in a situation where Bukayo Saka plays 30 games in the league, not 38.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's more. It's probably less than that because if we're talking about Europa League, then 30 might be still too much because we're going to need to be able. He's going to need to be able to play a lot of those knockout games,
or even just meaning that he doesn't have to go 90 minutes every game. There are times now that we can take him off at 60. and bring someone else in that and there's no drop off.
Look, I think we're all on the same page. We're all kind of happy. We're not arguing right now because we want the same thing for Bukayo
I like
Saka.
arguing. Okay, forget it. No, you know what? Saka's fine. All right, Saka's fine. Let the man play his 90
was
minutes,
liking it for
38
2
games.
minutes. For 2 minutes, I enjoyed that. We were all on the same
I
page.
can't agree with Stan
Yeah.
for like 5 minutes. That's just too
We were
much. No,
watching
2 minutes,
forget
there
it.
was actual solidarity in the world.
It just seemed like peace.
It was like a
spreading.
Pepsi commercial. I want the world to sing the
It was
song.
peace.
in
Peace was
perfect
spreading everywhere,
harmony.
Stan. We were
Pepsi
just
or
looking
Coke.
at a future where Bukayo Saka would play less games in the league. Arsenal would not miss him as much. We'd still be winning games with him not being involved. We love you, Bukayo Saka, but you can't play every game for us like you did last season.
No one can really.
Nobody,
We
no
want-
player, no big player plays 38 games. You look at
maybe,
all. You look
maybe
at
a keeper
look at
can get away with it. Maybe, you know.
yeah, but you look at the top like teams ahead of us. None of them, right? None of them played like 38 games.
Because
None.
they know that as soon as that key player gets into the red, they pull them out of harm's way and they have somebody to just slot back in and take up the slack. And that's where we're trying to get to.
And this is why you have to aspire to look at those teams above you, Liverpool and City, Chelsea. Whether
They're the
we're putting
benchmark at the
Leeds in
minute.
Chelsea.
They are the benchmark at the moment.
You have to aspire to get there, Tony.
We need to worry about a club across North London. We haven't finished above them for 7 fucking years.
Yeah, that's part of the process.
But you know what? As many people have said, that isn't actually our goal, is it?
We
That's just
can't
one of
be.
that's
we
just one
can't
of the
just be
milestones.
your goal.
That's just one of the milestones along the way. That you know what that lot, as they say, looks up at us. That's
If
it.
you-
That,
if you
the
look at
goal,
Liverpool
the goal
and
is
City-
The goal last year was top
big one.
6, which the club never said to us.
No
until the end of the
milestone. That's a
season.
milestone. That's not a goal.
That
not-
was
I
their
don't want
goal.
that-
Their goal was
No,
top 6.
I know it was, but that's not a goal. That's just like a milestone. It's a
Top
nice
4
to
should have been
have.
a goal, but apparently signing somebody in January could upset McCart. I don't get how that ruins your project.
Well, I believe this coming season, we can take points. Call me crazy. We can take points off of City and Liverpool. Maybe a point, right? Maybe 2 points somewhere in those 4 games. I believe that team down the road can do the same thing. I believe Chelsea may do the
But
same.
they already did.
They already did, yeah.
Well,
They
they
can
took 6
repeat.
points, or at least from the team that won the league, right?
We exactly. We have to be aspiring to beat and take points off those teams as well, and make the league.
Does Arteta know that? Does Arteta know that his squad is good enough to beat anybody on any day?
Yes.
Not curl over and curl up just because he sees a light blue shirt walk onto the pitch. Or a red one.
Believe it, Gary. We had you for 2 minutes there.
Our black
thinking
shirts
about
like
Saka.
Newcastle.
Thinking about going into the new year without Saka, sitting on the bench, coming on to finish off games. Instead of playing games with 1-0 leads, now we've got a 2-0 lead. We're leading 3-1 going into those 70th minute when substitutes come. The margin, for us to progress, the margin has to increase.
60-minute subs, Ray. 60 minutes.
Okay. I'm down with that.
But we need to have the depth, and right now I don't think we have the depth to do that, right?
Exactly. And we get those
On the
3
right
players.
positions anyway.
We get those 3 players, irrespective of who they are, what position they are. We need 3 players, not irrespective. It has to be in midfield. Some part of those 3 have to be in
Just
midfield.
not attacking midfield. We got enough of them, Ray.
So, Tony, we started with Saliba. I feel we didn't finish with Saliba. I feel his exposure at Arsenal will be greater than his exposure at Olympique Marseille. It's the Premier League, Tony.
Yeah, but if you have a chance to go play in Champions League, then go show off in the Champions League for Brazil
He's
team.
not a Marseille player. If we want him back, he comes back, and he sounds like he's happy to come back.
You tell him, Ray.
Not according to his agents. They keep putting stories out there.
That's what agents do, isn't it? They've got to make their money, ain't they?
What's that website you watch? GFFN?
I don't watch it. Shit comes
You
up in
read that
Future
stuff.
Report, and I click on it, right?
I feel Saliba like the project and see himself as starter.
Well, yeah. As Stan said, his agent's probably going, you know what? If Arsenal wants to keep you, they're going to have to pay. So maybe it's about the money and not about
The contract, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Let's give him a better deal in the contract with loads of bonuses and add-ons and this, that, and the other, right? You know, that's what the agent does.
I just
Right
think
wing
he
only.
wants
Saka
guaranteed
isn't that
minutes,
guy to
which he's
carry
not going to get.
Arsenal to a title.
I don't think Saka is at the any player at his age is taking any team to a trophy.
He's still promising.
What
Yeah.
20-year-old? When's the last time a 20-year-old went? You said, all right, that 20-year-old is the reason why they won the trophy. He's the one that was there for them.
Maybe Wayne Rooney, isn't it? Maybe Wayne Rooney. How long ago was that? Maybe, you know.
That's
Yeah,
the one
but I
I
mean,
could
right.
they don't come around that much, right?
Wayne Rooney was a young player in a good team, right?
Yeah.
Like a
Well,
fabulous.
that's the problem. Saka is the best player on a crap team, essentially. So it doesn't really work.
You teed him up there, Ray. You teed him up for that. That's your fault, not Gary's. That's yours. You
Dan, we
him up.
had 2 minutes, Dan. We had 2 minutes, and it was glorious. We had 2 minutes, and all four of us were dreaming.
We were having like an online group hug for 2 minutes, and then you fucking.
And then somebody farted, and then and it was a smelly one, and then there it is. Oh,
in an elevator, and it was in an elevator.
So we're all like passed out.
Damn it, Morty!
We're all like thumbing up, like gagging. I want these guys to be good. I just hope they're here.
And Mbappe, Owen, good shouts by BX going there. His name is some young people that have carried their team. Yeah, good shouts.
What did it say?
He's got Owen and Mbappe. Mbappe, you could say, carries his team. But they again, though, he's got a lot of other players. Yeah, a lot of players with him, right? He's got fucking Ronaldo and Neymar and this, that, and the other.
Said you need a team to win trophies, not win individual, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise the level of the talent.
Exactly
in the team,
right.
Right?
Yeah.
It's funny. Every time I see Roll's name, I just think of Roll Fox. I always think of Roll Fox. Remember him? Good player.
Yeah. But Roll brings some wisdom. I do see your stuff on Twitter, Roll, so I appreciate checking you out. So listen, that's it. Fill our glass, Arsenal. Go get some of those players. I believe it's about 120 million. Tony's smiling because he's the minister of the
I just want some of those players to be on a plane to Orlando is what I want. I want two players on, for me to feel good. I need two players on their way to Orlando.
When they going? When is it? They leave?
See, they play on Saturday. They play on Saturday in Baltimore.
Have they already left to go to America then?
Yeah, they're practiced today. They practiced today. So Orlando's
how long
the next.
For?
I think it's 8 days. I think because they have 3 games. I think.
Could you
Emirates Cup on the 30th.
Signing anyone and sending them over there quickly or not? No. What do you think?
I send them over. I'm saying I say they meet them in Orlando. That's how bad I want them to go.
Nobody hanging out.
They'll be on Space Mountain or whatever. Like get on.
Like Ric Flair on Space Mountain.
They'll be holding a spot. Holding a spot for Arteta. Arteta, I got a spot for you at the front of Space Mountain. Come on.
BX Center says, I love Saka, but the overhyping and sentiment that some hold on to is crazy. He's not world class yet.
Agreed.
Until he's one of the best players in his position in the Premier League.
It's like this, right? He's not hitting the Salah, Mane numbers, right? And that's the benchmark for me for those positions. And he's on his way. He's a prospect, and we covet him. But let's not throw 300 grand at him because he ain't doing that yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on a minute.
I gotta block something here.
I beat you too.
No, why are you blocking it? I want to find love, and they're going to help me. They were aware of our 2 minutes, and then it ended, and they come in and they want us to help find love again.
You won't get as it's not quality. It's not the quality that we had, Stan.
No. But think about it. Like,
listen, when it comes to
like,
love,
think about this.
I'm all for the quantity.
Yeah, no. Think about it. Saka.
I've seen them movies.
So think about this. If Saka didn't have to play 38 games, he probably would have been a better challenge for the best young talent in the Premier League, right? Because he wouldn't have had as many really bad days as Foden did, right? So that's where we're at. He plays too much.
Well, that's why you set a limit. 70 minutes, he comes off.
My biggest fear with someone like Saka is I honestly feel that the decline of Hector Bellerin is because we constantly played him over and over and over and over again from such a young age, and I think we kind of
Jack Wilshere.
There was so long that that Bellerin, when he was in the red, there was no one else that could step in, you know. And then you get to that complacency where you know you're being picked every week, and in the middle of a game, you find yourself having a stinker, and then you say to yourself, you convince yourself that okay, I'll make up for it next week. I'll have a better game next week because I will be playing next week. You get into that mindset. It's much better when you think I'm having a stinker and I might just fucked up because Johnny over there is going to step in and take my place. I better like fix up. That's what you want.
Yeah, Mike Malone. You know, a lot of players. We talked about Jack Wilshere, a player who would the way he played the game. He went for that ball right at the last second to get away from other players, and he would get himself into some challenges.
Is that Michael Owen?
No, Jack Wilshere. We're just talking about him last
but
week.
Jack Wilshere was at the club for 17 years, right?
Okay.
He never lived up to the hype.
Okay,
Yeah, but-
he didn't boss the midfield against Barcelona.
For this long, it wasn't
90
sustained
minutes.
at all.
For 90 minutes.
It wasn't
That's living up
sustained.
to the hype.
Was
I
it
mean,
sustained throughout his career, right?
not sustained because of injuries. I will agree with you on that one.
So
Imagine if we could have kept him and Ramsey fit together at the same time. What a midfielder would have had if we'd have kept them two in tandem.
Just like the guy that's going, that used to be our great player. Now he's going to the second tier of Italy in Fabregas.
That's at the end of his career, and he wants to keep playing.
Yeah, how old is he?
What did he do at Chelsea? Was he good when he came back? No.
He won title with Chelsea.
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't count as anything.
I know.
That means nothing. That means nothing.
He won a mere title.
It will be one title, one measly title at Chelsea.
He was part of a team. Did he win it? No.
Which make up your mind. What is it?
Fucking team game, Tony.
Tony, I'll give you a shovel if you want to keep going.
Bulldozer. Give him a bulldozer.
I'll give
Let's
you a
make that
ladder
hole
as well
bigger.
so you can climb out of the hole that you're digging if you want.
Tony, if you're digging expertise, we should send you to Oak Island because you'll find that treasure, man.
Did
You'll
we
find it.
take the option to sign him back? No, we didn't.
Why did we not do that? There's two reasons, right? In my eyes, one, Mesut Ozil had filled that hole, but Wenger's come out on record and said that the reason that he never took back Cesc Fabregas because he wanted to make a point of that when you leave Arsenal, you don't come back. You don't. He made an exception with Flamini and he made an exception with Henry, but I think it was, you know, you have to make an exception with Henry. That was like a loan thing. But that's the reason why Fabregas never came back. That was just down to Wenger trying to make a point to people coming up. Once you leave here, don't think you can come back.
And Ozil was there. He would have killed Ozil's career if Fabregas.
Ozil killed his own career.
in hindsight, could have been a good thing.
Yeah, no, but Wenger would not allow that.
Where's Ozil going to be playing at this coming season, eh?
We don't. Not Arsenal.
No.
And not Olympic Marseille. So
why don't you be playing like esports football online or some shit like that?
Not Leeds, not Olympic Marseille, not Arsenal. Those are the three clubs we talked about.
Another Turk team because he got let go.
Do you remember that time, though? Can I just say, though? I mean, just touching on Ozil, in case people are wondering, if you've not seen it, guys, who's listening, it turns out that he's going through exactly the same scenario at Fenerbahce.
He's gone.
He went at
He's
the end of Arsenal.
Anymore.
You know, first of all, it was kind of like he came out through his agent and saying, I'm a Fenerbahce player. I'll train hard. I'll be there ready. You know, like he did at Arsenal. And then the new manager came in and said, well, he's not in our plans. And again, they've ripped up his contract. You know, so it just goes to show you that. Do you remember that time when that reporter came out and said that Ozil was nicking a living and he got slaughtered? It turns out that he is fucking nicking a living. Even my missus, when I said to her, oh, you heard about Mesut Ozil? She was like, what's happening with him now? And I told her what's happening with him. She just said to me, what a waste. She said to me, she said, it seems like he doesn't even bother want to play football anymore. That's what my missus said.
I don't know. That's what supposedly what he's going to do is e-gaming.
There's a lot to
become
be
a professional. I know what he quits soccer.
If you're Mesut Ozil and you can't be you can't tear it up in the fucking Turkey League, then I mean, come on.
There's a lot to be said. When you achieve the big things, do you have that drive to keep achieving them?
Achieved a lot very young.
Or do you sit back and say, I've achieved all these things? I know what Gary wants. He wants more and more, and he wants to keep achieving. Right, Gary?
Yeah, so I mean, you see all these celebrities like dying, trying to relive the good old days, right? You see it with these singers and stuff like dying.
Boxers,
Just I
boxers.
mean, they always you just
Tiger
you can't,
Woods,
yeah.
come
Yeah,
back.
he's trying to relive an old time, and he screwed himself over. And that's all anything that's happened to him is all his fault. But yeah, no, it's hard. I think that's what makes them as good as they were, right? And you just can't turn it off. That's what I mean. Like certain things you just can't turn off, right? He's always going to want to be that guy in his head, and his body's like, dude, I can't do it.
Do you know the thing is, though,
can't
right,
do it.
Gary? Right, it's the things that we look at here, like the alternative, like a Tiger Woods or a Formula One driver or a boxer. These are all individual sports. So at the end of the day, it's the individual that kind of suffers. But when you have someone that's doing that in a team environment, there's a bigger picture now that it affects, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like Cristiano Ronaldo for me is I look at him as a mercenary. You know, he will always take glory. You know, he's going to leave United because he wants to be. He's that kind of a guy. It's glory, and again, that's a trait. That's an attribute which is quite good sometimes on an individual basis, but in a team basis, it just no good. Uncertainty,
I don't know
right?
if he's. Yeah, but Ronaldo, I don't know if he's going to leave because Ten Hag is saying things like we need some. He may actually need his goals this season.
It's not about what Ten Hag needs. It's about what
right?
Cristiano Ronaldo needs. That's the difference.
But you know, at some point,
At
some point, Ten Hag is going to have to be that
Right.
Ferguson manager who basically says this is how it goes, and then everybody follows suit. That's what it needs to be. That's what it needs to be.
He ain't got it in the bank now yet, has
right?
he?
Yeah, but that's what it needs to be, though. But it doesn't. At some point, he's gonna have to put his foot down and say, "Nah, this is how it works for me. You're staying or you're going. I'll let you know." You know.
So I just
I
like
like-
laughing at Mr. Tom's comment. He said, "Would have been funnier story if Stan said, did you hear about Mesut Ozil?" And then Mrs. went on to tell Stan what happened, and with greater knowledge of the situation than he had.
You know, that's not
she's
very
played
far
34
fetched.
games.
That's not very far fetched. It could actually happen just like that, right?
Yeah, it's not far from the truth, to be fair.
Why not? We want this as well for Arsenal. Winners keep replenishing one trophy. I need another one. We want Arsenal players at the end of this season coming up to win their medals. Put them.
Jesus is a winner.
Put them away in the cabinet and say, "I want another one."
I don't think Arteta was disappointed that he didn't get fourth place last season. Not enough. I don't think he was disappointed enough.
Not when their goal was.
I think he was okay.
What did you want him
They'll
to
all
do?
come out in.
But you know what I mean. You want your manager. You talk about all these
You
managers.
look pretty pissed off to me.
I not enough for me. Then maybe
Really?
I want more from him. I guess. I don't
Watch
know.
All or Nothing. You'll see.
Gary wants Arteta to do the walk of shame like on Game of Thrones, right? He's whipping himself and everyone's throwing like fucking rotten fruit at him, and he's like, shame. And he just walks out to the Emirates and atones himself, like whipping himself.
Even
I didn't think he was. Not enough for me. Maybe I'm expecting too much from him. I don't know.
Even 250 couldn't tempt him to end his goal record. LOL.
Gary wants him to go to the top of the mountain and sacrifice his firstborn in repentance, because he didn't get to full.
This will not happen again. I'll show you why.
He looked pissed.
He looked
I would
pissed,
agree. He
okay.
looked pissed to me.
White Hart Lane.
You know, it's sort of like when your eyes go all like glassy, like you're going to start crying in anger. He had that going on.
When did he look like that? After the North London Derby or the
Newcastle game?
Newcastle game.
Newcastle?
Yeah.
So Gary, do you want your
And then
manager?
there's the famous picture of him going.
Do you want your manager to crumble to the ground like William Gallas?
No, I just want him to be pissed, and I didn't think I was. You guys said he was pissed, right? so maybe I missed it, but I guess I want more because I'm going back to like some of the matches where we played poorly, and he's still trying to make it seem like it was okay, and I'm like, nah, dude, just tell us the truth because we all saw it. You know what I mean? We all saw that.
Do you take any account of the youngest average team in the league?
Doesn't matter. They all want to win.
Who is costing us the point?
Keep saying that they're young, so they don't want to win games. Come on, stop that. They want to win games, right? That's why they get out there and play.
You're being very David Frost tonight, Ray. I can see what you're doing.
Yeah,
Frost v. Nixon.
I don't know what that
I'm
means,
just
but it's
asking the question. David Frost would ask. You know, Piers Morgan would ask.
You want to tell? You're saying these are professional football players, and they're okay not trying to win matches, and taking it. Oh, I'll just take it in stride. We didn't do good today. No, Screw that. We want to win, right? They want to win. That's why they came to Arsenal.
Mildly annoyed.
Yeah.
If he
Arteta
was
looks
mad,
mildly
I look
annoyed.
mildly
Players
annoyed
came
when I
out
see
and
like one
played.
bag of Funyuns on the shelf and some old bunny gets in front of me and
I-
grabs it before I can
so-
get there. And
If he
I'm
was
mildly
fired up
annoyed.
on the team change or
For
whatever,
me,
it's fine.
You see, that's why you can't hesitate, Stan. You got to just go.
I
And
know.
if she gets taken out, sorry, I didn't see you coming.
I'll
I
be
should have
right.
given her. I should have given her a running bulldog and then just grabbed like the
You
Funyuns.
see, like the TikToks where they put the hand to the face, like no, like
I'll be right back, but I do want to leave this with you to talk for 2 minutes. I'll be back in 2 minutes. I want my manager to show strength and not show weakness when the season comes. I don't want a situation where he's running up against Jurgen Klopp and he looks like the weaker of the two matchups. How do you want Arteta to conduct himself on the sideline this season when those moments come?
I
you
want
want
him
him
to
to be
stop
more-
screaming out players' fucking names all the
Do you
time.
want him to be more
micromanaging.
Arsene Wenger or do you want him to be more Jose Mourinho or you know what I mean? That's my poser to the three of you.
you know what?
Well-
When Arteta's talking, like I think he's involved. When you see him sitting down, he's got no clue, which means he's lost the plot sometimes. So for me, I like him talking because at least he's engaged. And you know, when he's quiet, he doesn't know have an answer, and we're sitting there struggling. We're like, oh, he's gonna make a decision. Nope. So I know when he's in it, when he's talking.
What's
So
that
I'm gonna
happen
say,
when he says Gabby this season?
you know what?
It's
That
gonna be
means
like that
fucking
meme. It's
three
gonna be like that
players
meme of
brings
3 Spider-Men pointing at each other, going, "Which
No,
one?"
you know what? I hope he's doing that because that means hopefully that's for a good thing, a good reason, right? Because Gabby to Gabby for the goal, it would be really nice, right?
Yeah. Can you imagine the commentary?
Gabby makes a long pass
Gabriel
to Gabby.
brings it out from defence, moves it to Gabby on the wing. Gabby moves the ball up the wing, gets it into Gabby. Gabby takes it round and scores. He'd be like, "What the fuck?" Listen to it on the radio. It's just going to be like so weird. But what was the question that Ray posed? What was his question? I forgot.
He said,
If you want him being like calm and nice. on
Oh yeah, the
sideline, just
Arteta
screaming.
thing. I think I'd like him to be a little bit more kind of reserved, a little bit more. You know, he does seem to be kind of like on that sideline for way too long. And if you remember that game when he couldn't turn up, and we had like the other coach running it, and the other coach kind of like had a slightly different approach, and we had a good game, didn't we? We didn't need someone to come in and start doing that. So the one thing that I will say is, remember when we played Liverpool, and then we were doing really well in the first half, and then he started like getting the ump with Jurgen Klopp, and Jurgen Klopp almost like he harnessed the power from Mikel Arteta and returned it against him, and then they went up a gear. I hope he kind of learns from that. Like, you've got to try and pick your battles a little bit better, because that one, he picked his battle, man, and he fucking lost it big time.
well, that also for me showed that he didn't have the confidence, or his team didn't have the confidence in him. They didn't back him up. Think about it. They did not back him up, right? Yeah. Your manager's going after Klopp. You gotta back him up. We basically folded after that. Yeah. And like you said, and their team went, "What are you talking to our manager like that?" Next thing you know, bang.
It's like when you're in the pub, right? And you stand up to the bully in the pub, and he's got his mates with him, and you look around and all your mates just walking out the door.
I know, like, they all went to the bathroom or something like that. I didn't notice you were getting up. What happened?
What happened there was a Sadio Mane challenge on, I think, Tomiyasu, right? One of our players.
Yeah.
And
right.
Arteta took umbrage to it. Now maybe you'll think next time, don't poke the bear. You're in a hostile environment.
He needed to focus that on his team and tell them go get the job done, because they're trying to piss you off, as opposed to what is going after Klopp going to do? Your team is the one that mattered anyways, Klopp's probably Klopp was laughing, but he's like, oh my god! You know what he just did?
We've had
he was like the emperor. He was like the emperor, going good. Watching Arteta turn to the dark side.
Years where we've been passive, as a whole club, we've been passive for 5 or 6 years. So, for a brief moment, we really loved it as Arsenal fans. Here's Arteta stepping up to the big dog.
But his players
Okay.
did not back him up. That's the difference. The players didn't back him up. Like he put
Yeah.
trust in him once again, and they let him down. Right?
It was a
Oh,
bit like
this
that.
the big bad red team from Liverpool got us. Right? Nah, we were playing with them up to that point. Right? Playing with
We
them
were
up to
there.
that
We
point.
were there with them. Yep.
The game was just where we wanted it to be. They
Yeah,
were getting nothing, and we were putting pressure on them. We needed to keep doing that, and then all of a sudden that happened, and then we kind of like lost our way, and bad things happened.
He was
And,
like
and that's the situation.
he was like the Brooklyn Brawler running into the Undertaker with a clothesline and then getting a no sell. Just like,
That's the situation we need to aspire to, Tony. You have a Liverpool team who were completely in tune with their manager, knew what he was doing at that time.
Yeah.
They knew to win their individual duels at the time.
Yeah, but do they know?
Yeah.
What?
Do they know what Arteta wants from them?
They did not in that
all the games
situation.
they showed up, and the team just flat didn't show up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did
yeah.
not.
That City game with Airport with Albert, man, the way we played in that game, I'm like, just record that one. Maybe they lost the recording, and that's why we never play like that again. Record that one, and then do it again.
That's why I think it's the micromanaging, shouting at the players all the time, gets them fucking confused. They don't feel like they can be creative.
The players don't get confused. The players don't get confused.
It takes.
I got why not on my
Ray,
why not on my side? It's gotta be.
Are you gonna be creative when your boss is constantly barking at you?
Mm-hmm.
They're yards away from you. Your boss is not over your shoulder.
No rule. The one thing that Erdegaard has to do is when what's his name? Who plays right back for us?
Tommy,
so when Cedric steps to the free kick, Erdegaard just basically gives him the elbow. Says get out of here, little man. If you're the captain and you're stepping to a free kick, there's no way Cedric takes. I don't care what the manager says. I don't care if Arteta said no. Cedric takes no. Get away from this ball. Especially after the first one, the fact that he got a second try in the same game, you're like, come on, dude, come on, no. But that's when Erdegaard needs to put his foot down and say, look, I got the armband. I kick this. I do this.
Rule, I think this is going away from the English game. You don't have the archetypal strong man as your captain anymore. You have these kind of flair players as your captains.
He's embarrassing you.
Who?
Cedric was embarrassing Erdegaard. This guy's taking free kicks over you. That's embarrassing. Come on.
So when Steve Denham put out a tweet about who's going to score the first goal, I said Erdegaard, but somebody's got to pin Cedric on the other side of the pitch. Somebody's got to sit on him and not let him get near.
Hopefully, he shouldn't be starting anyways in that early part of the season. So, yeah.
Here's the thing. Erdegaard, I think, is a little bit like Arsenal right now. Great player, can play football, do great things, but there are moments when he can get brushed out of the game. We call it weak mentality. I don't think it's weak mentality. I think it's just the will to win from the other team is stronger. If that's a weak mentality, then
okay. I was going to say, I think that's basically what that looks like. That's what it looks like. Because we're talking about footballers and stuff. Like we don't.
I think he just had other stuff on his mind this year. He started off the season not as good. He didn't integrate as fast as he did on his loan spell. I was disappointed with him the first 3 months of the season.
Erdegaard showed enough for us to want to bring him back ahead of Madison, ahead of Buendia.
Yeah, I'm saying that he showed it, but he didn't show it when he came back. Because October, November, when he started finally clicking. He didn't start off the season good. He had a ground running on his loan.
Did any of the teams start off the season well? I think we grew into the season as it went on.
Oh, you have to when you're fucking rock bottom. You know.
Forget those three. Yeah, forget those 3 games. Not that I'm saying forget them, but forget them, right?
No, those are games. They meant something. You're supposed to have learned from at least the first one. We didn't.
Those were preseason. Remember that, Gary?
I don't know what no sell means. That's a wrestling thing, I assume.
Yes.
Stan still has to insert a certain phrase into the podcast that has come in.
Notwithstanding?
Oh, he blew it. Yeah. That's the
I
one.
was going to say a certain phrase, but notwithstanding, Tony got there before me. So, nonetheless, I'll come up with something else.
I mean, that right there is why I kind of
Maybe
felt
I'll
like
do the Vince McMahon when his voice goes really high. No, he hasn't. He's going to pin him for 3. No, he doesn't. I love that. Sorry.
Tom's
Mr.
fucking
That.
going around.
Mr. Tom's
Rose
right.
said,
Guns
I
and
know the
Roses.
captain type has changed. However,
Oh my
Arsenal
God, he's going
should
to the
not
top
have
row.
weak leaders because players are young and need to develop. That's the
yeah,
deal.
and
Right.
like that. So that means Erdegaard can't lead this squad, right?
What a maneuver.
He can barely lead his line, right? Right. If you can't lead your line, you really can't lead. You can't really lead the team. Can
What
you?
about what a specimen? You have to do
I
that.
hope you
What
don't
a-
believe what you're
What
saying,
a
Gary.
specimen.
He
You
can
think he
lead the
leads
line.
it?
Sorry. It's like 2
But-
podcasts now happening at once.
I know you got like a
terribly sorry.
wrestling one.
Yeah.
With
Wrestling in
with
the
like
bottom.
football.
Yeah. I
We're
just like
two
doing the
lanes
Vince
now, two
McMahon voice
lanes.
when he sounds like he's getting further and further away from the microphone as he's commentating. Sorry.
And look, this is the ultimate criticism here. It's only in 10, 15% of the games, right? It's only those games that we haven't been winning. Erdegaard gets nullified because we lose the midfield battle. This is something we need to improve on. We need to bring midfield players in that can start in midfield over who. We have real problems getting the ball to him when that happens, so his influence on the game diminishes.
Yeah, but who's gonna be playing if he's available? He's gonna be on the team sheet. He's gonna be starting.
1, 2, he's got him. No. Sorry.
Gross Erdegaard. What
I
are you
want you to
saying?
do the angry Vince now, Stan.
Tony, what are you saying?
You're
He will be-
fired.
Erdegaard will be on the team. This is I'm having the concentrate
Let's talk
at a
about
high level
Zaka.
now.
Let's talk about Zaka. Certain player.
Listen, that's Erdegaard. He will be the captain, right? Erdegaard
So-
will be the captain.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know.
Either that or he's got to like fight Hector Bellerin as like a last level big boss to get the armband off of him.
I'd give it to Gabriel, but the defensive one, Stan.
Yeah, which one?
And
Made
like
the legs.
Jesus could do it
Made
as
the-
well. I mean, I know he's just recently got here, but I believe he can lead his line for sure. For sure,
Good
he's
shout.
shown it. I mean, I know it's he hasn't been here long enough, but sometimes
Pedigree.
a leader shows up and you just go. I mean, in football, a player that I know left his college team, went to another college team, basically showed up day one, knew everything that needed to be done at his position. And basically, they just handed him the reins and said, there you go. This is your squad. You lead them. Sometimes people just are inherently leader. I don't know if Jesus is that guy, but sometimes you just got to, let the guys lead that can lead, especially when you're looking for certain things. Like I believe still the tyranny that was in that Leeds match, we haven't seen that guy. We haven't seen that guy since. Like, I want that fiery guy, right? We see him practicing about it,
That's like you driving down the motorway, flipping people off. You only get
No,
to that
that's
point
not
where
what
you're
that
pissed
is.
off.
That's
you only
me
get to that
trying.
point where you're pissed
That's
off.
me backing
I
up
could
my.
see. I could actually see Gary doing that.
He's
on the
done it.
motorway.
He's admitted to doing
I
it.
did not. I said I got upset. I didn't say I was picking off anybody.
Yeah, you
Big
did.
difference.
Tony will back you up.
You know what? When Arsenal, I was in a hotel room watching the game, and I decided, all right, I got to leave now. I got to make it home. I'll jump in the car and I'll listen to it just before I take off. And we gave up a goal like in the 90th minute.
I just got visions of me going down the motorway and there's like fucking Gary whizzing by me on the outside lane in his Datsun
Well,
Cherry, flipping me
My
off.
point is,
You're driving too slow. You're like going 70. It's like,
that's the Kieran Tierney you will see when he's really, really irritated. Well, I think
I want to
really,
see that
really,
guy, but I want to see that guy. That's all I'm
it has
saying.
to be controlled. When you
Not
get,
controlled by Xhaka. That's not what
Yeah.
I want.
I agree with that. All right, so Ben White didn't come
Can we
to
do
America,
Cannonball
right?
Run with us?
Tony, Ben
See
White
who
was
gets
not
the
on the plane, right?
fastest.
Tony, Ben White didn't fly, right? He wasn't on the plane.
Nope.
So Saliba should really start on Saturday.
If he doesn't, then what are we doing? What are we doing if he doesn't start?
If he doesn't start, that's the title of Sunday's podcast. What are we doing?
He's been training and everything, right? He's in training.
No, it doesn't even matter if he was training or not. The man
He should be
plays,
fit.
right?
Yeah.
The man plays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you
I
gonna
mean,
do if he doesn't start, Ray? Are you gonna cry?
We got 3 games before. We got 3 games left, I think, before.
I
the
want to
season
see us
starts.
play with like a strong 11 to start the first half. Get out of let those guys play for 45 minutes and get them out of there. You know what I
They
mean?
never
Okay.
play that long. They only
Will
play
said
30
Ben
minutes.
They
White.
played that long in the last game. They played the starters played through the half.
Historically, Gary.
Thunder Road's also
Historically, you
saying
have
that
the
he's
kids
there,
playing
so
60
Ben White
minutes,
is there.
which
Okay.
we don't have academy.
People are saying that Ben White is there.
I would still like to see Saliba play.
I've got a
On
list here of the
Saturday.
key players that went. So
Well,
I'll tell
what
you
are
in a
you
minute.
go? What benefit are
Yeah,
you going
Ben
to get
White's
from?
there.
What
Yeah, Ben
benefit
White
are you
is
going to
there.
get from Ben White being in the team?
He didn't play in the last one though. That's why
Yeah, Ben White is there. I'm looking at the list.
he didn't play in the first game though, right? So
Gee.
No.
not what.
But that
So that's
was
what. But that's why you would, if he's your start. Like I said, I would want us to start with our stronger 11, right? So I kind of I can see White playing, but Saliba definitely needs to play. I see White starting. I mean, and Saliba getting to play.
also a possible debut for Fabio Vieira as well.
Yeah, if he's healthy, he needs to play.
Anyone else you're excited about seeing again or for the
I want to
first
see
time?
Marquinhos. I want to see him play some
Marquinhos.
good minutes.
Way to go, Ray.
I don't know
Stan.
what does that mean. Well, can you guys put like the translations what that
Blocking.
means?
Blocking. I think it's blocking, right?
Yep.
Stan, who are you excited to see again or for the first time?
Marquinhos and Jesus, because I didn't really see the and I didn't really see the last game that we played, so I'd like to catch it. Just for me with pre-season, I don't read too much into it, but it's nice to see the shiny new toys and see, what they're like. So yeah, looking forward to it.
And if
Saliba as well, I want to see this guy play in the flesh now.
And if we go by Tony, Gabriel won't play because he's going to go to Juventus, right, Tony?
One of the two's go, I think.
One of what two's gonna go?
Saliba and Gabriel, mega legs.
Gonna goes to another team after just joining up. Okay. I want some of what he's having. Rule said probably Saliba and
No, you
White
don't, Ray. No, you don't.
no, you don't. Marquinhos, I want to see again. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll round up. If anyone's got questions, anyone else wants to bring a topic, Gary, Stan, Tony, want to talk about anything? But I will just say we'll go through. Stan referenced all of the players. We've got 5 or 6 players already in the house, Stan.
Oh, Naked HD's back in the house, and to answer Anderson, no, I'm in Canada, so I'm not going to be going. I won't be going into America to see any of the games, but I'll be looking out for them in the box.
It's a busy time for me here. I hope Vieira is okay, said Rule. Yeah.
There's a picture of him with like one of them like protective boots, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we did some business then quite early. Marquinhos came in June 13th. Fabio Vieira, Matt Turner, the June 22nd and 27th respectively. And then we got Gabriel Jesus right about July 4th. Now it's the 14th, so there's been 10 days of sort of inactivity.
Yep. Austin Trusty, he's in there.
He's at what division?
He's going out on
Division 2 or whatever. Birmingham City. So,
oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gary, not that I want to use last summer as a reference point, but at this point, last year on the 14th of July, we had only brought in Nuno Tavares at that point in time. Only one of the 6 had come in at this point in the season. So does that make you feel a little bit better? We got 5 players in. At the same point.
I guess no. No, because supposedly they told us they planned this thing out since January when they didn't bring on anybody. So for me, no. If they've been planning for 5 to 6 months, we should be done getting our players ready for the season. You know what I mean? I understand there's how this thing works, but I just feel like no. Get all your players in so they can be, because Arteta keeps saying he wants a preseason with his players, and he's not getting that. not going to get that again if he brings in some of the players we're talking about. He's going to get maybe a week or two with them, and then the season starts. And will they play? Maybe, but will they be ready to play whatever style he wants? Probably not, right?
And as Rule said, only one truly starter is Jesus, and I've identified Tielemans. Tony is razzing me about it because I want Tielemans in. I want the best for Arsenal, Tony. That's all, and that's another gap. That's another.
They're not better midfielders out there than him.
No, but he plays the left 8 position for me.
We're not gonna play a left 8. We're gonna play 2 attacking players in that position.
What does he do at an 8 that you go, all right, that's what an 8 does?
Who, Tielemans?
No, the man you were talking about.
Xhaka?
Yeah.
Yeah. He is the least destructive. That's his least destructive position.
No, we just put him away.
He'd play goalkeeper at the
We put him away from the
striker,
danger. So that makes him better player now.
I'm not saying I want Granit Xhaka. I'm saying I want Tielemans. Right?
You want Navas or any of those people?
So listen, Jesus is the one starter that we were going to get. He's going to go straight into the team. We need to increase our midfield. Nerdscape's probably already gone at this point, and
Gary, break out the oil for Vidor.
Yeah, man.
As we wind things down here and give Gary, Stan, and Tony an opportunity to speak their mind about
Gary some WD-40.
What?
Send Gary some WD-40 for his door.
Yeah, I need some for my own. So as soon as I use it on my own, I'll send it to Gary.
That's just the doorbell, man. That's how we use it as a doorbell. So stop it. We know when somebody's coming in the house.
Gary is a transfer fiend. He loves buying players. Not just a transfer fiend. He's a podcast fiend as well.
That's for sure.
Arsenal is a free transfer fiend. We just like to give everybody free transfers to you. Free transfer to you.
Not in the summer. Come on, right? Not everything printed is true. I'm going to drop the backstage pass in, Tony. I was not going to forget. I think Keddy's nailed on for 38 starts. Some of that will be in the Europa League. So Stan, you want to wind up with your final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts are I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit of the pre-season. Looking forward, hopefully, to seeing some more incomings. Definitely sounds to me that there's more shopping is going to be done from Arsenal. And just want to say a big thanks to everyone here on the panel, as usual, for being here on a Thursday. Yeah. And all you guys out there in the chat box who come in every week. You're not Miss Arsenal Misfit, Ray Anderson, Mr. Tom.
Don't blame everyone for bailing out right now because it's late, right, Stan?
Naked HD, go on.
Ray Anderson, Raul. So thank you all for coming in on this Thursday evening, and we'll see you all again on Sunday. And this is just for Mr. Tom. 1, 2, he's got him. Oh, he kicks out.
Listen, Gary posed what does Granit Xhaka bring in that position, and that is probably the best place that he could do something for us and not create havoc at the same time.
Yeah, but he kills the pace up there. We're playing with 9 men.
We need better, Tony. We need better. Now, do you or Gary want to go next?
Tony, you go.
Okay. I'll start where I never got to say my piece on earlier. You get it to preseason. You usually only see the big guys for 30 minutes, but what always excited me was seeing the academy players. Now, we don't have any of those guys to watch. Actually, you want to see what ability they have. Arteta refuses to integrate them into a team for whatever reason, even though we're low on numbers. He's putting them on the bench last season, that last 3 months. We knew none of them were to play. Here we are in preseason. We're probably not going to see any of them play. And that's unfortunate because that's why I always got excited about the preseason was the academy players, seeing what they could do. Discovering players you don't get to see too often. And that's pretty much it.
No, I echo what you're saying, Tony. I'll give Gary the last word, but one of the not great things, but one of the things that disturbs me about Arteta is the unwillingness to maybe embrace the young players or work with the players that he had at his disposal. Pepe, there's a player in there, but hopefully we can get 17, 18 million for him as well. It will go toward the end of the window, and our glass will slowly get filled, but I think hopefully by the end of this window, we'll be looking at our beverages filled up, because there's nothing nice about sitting at the bar and knowing your beer's going low and you're not getting refills. You know,
Just make sure you got a nice fresh Guinness. That's all
we
you
need
need.
some refills there. We need some nice cold,
Or a
refreshing
Bemis. I like Bemis too.
Irish Guinness, Tony, and not that warm stuff.
What about Bemis? Can we have some Bemis too?
Yeah, I'm surprised you know about Beamish.
I love it.
Wow, he
love it.
surprises me every podcast, usually in bad ways, but in this way,
I've
he
mentioned it
surprises me
before, Ray. I like porters better than stout. So
in a good way. All right, great stuff. Gary gets the final word tonight.
he had every other word.
Shut it. Shut it. Shut your mouth. As I say, thank you, everybody, to the show. Like Stan said, thank you for all joining us. Ray, Stan, Tony, thank you for making this a good show. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing them play in a couple of days. I'm hoping it's on regular TV. I just checked. It's not on
me too.
ESPN, so I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it's on another channel or not, so I have to check that out. But
Probably won't be easy to
yeah,
find.
so hopefully we get to see them play. And like I said, I'd like to see some of the
Is it
newbies
Saturday
play.
the game? Is it Saturday the game?
Saturday,
8
7,
o'clock. Yeah,
it'll be
7
4
or is
p.m.
it 7 or 8? Yeah.
4
In the
p.m.
morning?
your time.
4
In
p.m.
the
in the
afternoon.
afternoon.
4 in
Okay.
the afternoon for you.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
You don't
So,
have to get up early.
So start
Lovely.
looking for it at like 3 p.m. Stan, so you can find it. Time.
We'll not have to get up early. Gary, we had 2 minutes as well, and it was brilliant. Those 2 minutes,
yeah.
I'll take with me.
Yeah,
a
look,
long
I'm
time.
nixing that 2 minutes from the video so nobody sees it. But
Edit
no,
it out.
it's it. Now,
Perfect.
looking forward to it, and I'm hoping we do close some business soon so we can get these guys in house and with their shirts on pretty quickly.
Well, yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
Can't believe
yeah.
Tom's not joining.
Like I said, I would like
Stan was
some. I
doing
would like. Yeah.
Vince
So
impersonations.
thank you, everyone.
It is late.
We'll
We do
do this again.
appreciate that. It is late. Shout out to everybody in the UK. Always astounds us that you're here with numbers. There is a
Steven, get out of bed.
There is a backstage pass. If anyone new is watching right now, there's 10 of you out there. There's a backstage pass. I'll drop it in again.
And drop your likes as well, please.
After we go dark here, after the lights go down, you can come in and say hello if you want. Can't even be camera off as long as it doesn't get weird. Out of here. Thanks. We'll see you Sunday. Come on, you Gunners. Up the Arsenal. Thanks, Gary, Tony.
Thank you.
Stan.